Chapter 1148, The Alliance Between Undercurrent and Star Moon. The son of the Master of Undercurrent is suspected to have been assassinated by the Dragon Assassin Organization. The ace assassin of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization is suspected to have been assassinated by the Dragon Assassin Organization. 2 corpses are hanging on the East Gate city wall. Is the Dragon Assassin Organization declaring war on the Undercurrent Assassin Organization? One by one, information spread throughout Bright Moon City at a terrifying speed. In the morning, someone confirmed that the middle-aged corpse was a peak expert at half-step void interpretation. When this news came out, everyone had shocked expressions on their faces. That middle-aged man at half-step void interpretation was very likely to be the ace assassin of Undercurrent. And those families that received the Dragon Spike's contact information had stunned expressions on their faces. In their eyes, the Undercurrent Assassin Organization that possessed a powerful foundation was definitely the top existence in Star Moon Kingdom. However, now, the son of the Master of Undercurrent, the Ace Assassin, had been assassinated by the Dragon Spike. Moreover, they were all hung at the position of the East Gate's city wall. This was a blatant humiliation to them. This Dragon Spike actually dared to assassinate the son of the Master of Undercurrent. Moreover, he even possesses the ability to assassinate. The eyes of those young families who had obtained the Dragon Spike's contact information flickered, and they immediately took out the contact information that they had thrown away. The price of the Dragon Spike's assassination is actually more than twice as cheap as that of the Undercurrent. The rules of the Dragon Spike are actually so strange. Children are not killed, and there are many good people. Mass-funded assassinations, half-price assassinations, When the families and mercenary groups entered the Dragon Spike's contact page through the communication stone plate, they were stunned. Compared to the Undercurrent, the price of the Dragon Spike was more than twice as cheap. Moreover, the rules were also very strange. It was common knowledge that children were the easiest to assassinate, but in the end, they didn't accept the task of assassinating children. This mass-funded assassination, half-price assassination, was a complete oddity in their eyes. There was such an assassin organization. East Sea City was relatively far from Bright Moon City, so many families in Bright Moon City did not know about the Dragon Spike. When they learned about it now, they were all dumbfounded. This is too big. They directly announced their arrival by assassinating the son of the Master of Undercurrent, the Ace Assassin of Undercurrent. How arrogant! Some people thought to themselves. Many people looked at the assassination price and fell into deep thought. The price was only half of the price of Undercurrent. This made many people extremely tempted, and they were considering whether or not to make a move. Peng, arrogant, truly arrogant to the extreme. They actually hung the corpses on the city wall. They are looking down on our Bright Moon City. At the seat of the city lord's mansion, an old man sat there with an angry expression on his face. He looked at the 2 corpses in front of him with a sullen face. His expression was uncertain. City Lord Liu, the person in charge of the Undercurrent here is here. At this moment, a woman beside him said to the city lord in a low voice. Is he here? Let them come in and recognize him. City Lord Liu nodded slightly and waved at the person in front of him. If an outsider were here to see this scene, they would definitely be extremely shocked. An assassin from the Undercurrent had directly entered the city lord's manor? This was simply. In truth, the fact that the Undercurrent was able to gain a foothold in Star Moon Kingdom was due to the great relationship between the Star Moon royal family and the city lord's manor. Or it could be said that the 2 parties were cooperating openly. Otherwise, the Undercurrent wouldn't have been able to go so smoothly. City Lord Liu. A thin old man walked in. His face was filled with anxiety as he greeted him. Then, he hurriedly looked towards the ground. Young Master Ing. Looking at the corpse on the ground, the body of the old man from the Undercurrent started to tremble. His eyes slowly turned blood red. He was really the son of their leader. He was really their young master. If their leader knew about this, even if he did not die, he would still be skinned alive. Dragon Spike. Dragon Spike, you actually dare to kill our young master. The old man's emotions were somewhat agitated, and he clenched his fists tightly. It's really your young master? City Lord Lu's expression sank. As the City Lord of Bright Moon City, one of the kingdom's top experts, he naturally knew of the relationship between Undercurrent and Star Moon Kingdom. An organization like an assassin was something that couldn't be stopped, so Star Moon Kingdom might as well join forces with an assassin organization. The result of the alliance was that Undercurrent could not assassinate Star Moon Kingdom's serving officials and soldiers, and they had to pay a certain fee. Therefore, the amount of money Undercurrent could assassinate had always been very high. Yes, Dragon Spike, that damned Dragon Spike. He wants to make an enemy out of our Undercurrent assassin organization. We absolutely cannot let him off, absolutely cannot. The old man lost his composure and roared in a low voice. City Lord Lu was slightly silent. He knew about the Dragon Spike assassin organization. It was an assassin organization that had rendered even Lei Feihu of East Sea City helpless. Star Moon Kingdom was unwilling to see an assassin organization that dared to assassinate officials of Star Moon Kingdom. However, this Dragon Spike had been hidden very well, and its strength was not simple. The kingdom had no choice but to ignore it. But now, it had appeared in Bright Moon City. Go and report this matter to your leader and see what he says. City Lord Lu hesitated for a moment and said to the old man. It's City Lord Lu. I'll report it now. The old man's face was somewhat pale as he hurriedly nodded and immediately contacted their master of Undercurrent. City Lord Lu sat there and knocked on the table. After hesitating for a moment, he took out his communication stone plate and also began to contact the palace. The entire City Lord's mansion was extremely quiet. Outside, countless people in Bright Moon City were discussing what had happened this morning. The confrontation between the two major killer organizations and the PK between the old and new killer organizations undoubtedly made many people extremely excited. Time slowly passed. Inside the City Lord's mansion, the old man from Undercurrent's face was already extremely pale. City Lord Lu, Undercurrent will send out all our forces to deal with the Dragon Assassin organization. I hope that Sir will provide us with some convenience. The old man took a deep breath and respectfully said to City Lord Lu, our leader will rush over tomorrow. Alright, don't worry about this. I've also received news that I'll assist you in eradicating the Dragon Assassin organization. City Lord Lu's eyes flickered. Star Moon Kingdom would never allow an uncontrollable assassin organization, one that dared to assassinate the mayor of a town, go against the City Lord, and assassinate city guards to appear. In the past, they had no choice. But now, if they were to let the Undercurrent take action, their assistance would be the best choice. Using the Undercurrent to deal with this tumor Dragon Spike. This was the intention of Star Moon Kingdom's royal family. Thank you, City Lord Lu. We will definitely make them pay a heavy price for this damn Dragon Spike. The old man bowed and growled in a low voice with a savage expression. Take your young master's corpse away. I can provide you with all the information you need. As long as you are in Bright Moon City, I can find even an ant. City Lord Lu looked ahead with a face full of confidence. His eyes were incomparably cold. Chapter 1149, Battle. As the winds blew and the clouds surged, the entire Bright Moon City became much livelier due to the appearance of the Dragon Assassin group. Currently, Bright Moon City already had many families and mercenary groups from other cities. The Undercurrent Assassin Group was a powerful organization that had shaken the Star Moon Kingdom for decades. Now that the son of the suspected Undercurrent leader and the Ace Assassin Group had been assassinated by the Dragon Assassin Group, everyone could imagine that a bloody storm was about to begin. And with the arrival of the Dragon's Thorn, although their assassination rules were very strange, many people were extremely moved. Patriarch, we've already received news from East Sea City that the Dragon's Thorn Assassin organization has the strength to destroy a rank 9 Transcendent. Once they accept a mission, there will be no failures that can be trusted. In a family clan in Bright Moon City, a middle-aged man reported to an old man in a low voice. Is the news true? It's 100% confirmed. That's good. The old man's eyes lit up. The price of the Undercurrent Assassin Group has always been relatively high. Since it's only half the price of the Undercurrent Assassin Group, let's give it a try. Yes, I'll go deal with this matter right now. The middle-aged man nodded. His eyes flickered and he immediately walked out. It wasn't just this family. Many other families had started to take action as well. They had very strong news and quickly received all the news regarding the dragon spike. Under everyone's astonishment, they had a detailed understanding of the dragon spike's strength. Dragon King, the effect is very good. Up until now, we have received more than 10 orders. A Draconid walked over and said to Wang Xian with a smile. Oh, is that so? The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. Then let Ao Yao and the rest prepare. We will start the mission tonight. Yes, Dragon King. We will prepare to receive the deposit this afternoon. The Draconid nodded and walked out. Be careful of the retaliation from the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Feng Luan sat at the side and looked at a document. I have a document on the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. The leader of the Undercurrent is an expert at the Insightful Void level. He should be at the first level of the Insightful Void level. Don't worry. I have already made preparations. With Ao Yao and the rest around, unless the leader of the Undercurrent keeps an eye on the dragon spike, they will admit defeat sooner or later. Wang Xian revealed a confident expression. Wang Xian had already made preparations in advance for the retaliation of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. In order to prevent the Undercurrent Assassin from killing the spies when they were getting the deposit, he had already sent a group of strange demons to protect these spies. Okay. Feng Luan nodded and didn't say anything else. From the information of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization, the assassins they had couldn't be compared to the Dragon Spike at all. From what she knew, Dragon Spike already had 40 top-tier assassins. They were existences that could assassinate Transcendence at level 9. The Undercurrent could not be compared to them, even if their leader was at the Profound Void tier. In the evening, the entire Bright Moon City was still bustling with activity. There was an endless stream of pedestrians on the streets. A middle-aged man was walking on the streets. When he arrived in front of a stone platform, he moved his arm slightly and threw an interspatial ring onto it. However, very soon, an old man walked over and directly took the interspatial ring away. The middle-aged man looked at the old man, took out his communication stone plate and sent a message. Soon after, a smile appeared on his face. This was the method to pay the deposit for the dragon spike. It was very safe, and no one would know. However, there was a disadvantage to this. If the person who paid the deposit deliberately lured out the spy of the dragon spike, it would be very easy. Back in Eastern Sea City, the guards of Eastern Sea City used this method to pull out the spy. Go over. On the busy street, an old man in a long robe looked at the position in front of him from a distance, and a cold voice came from his side. The old man nodded slowly and walked straight to the agreed place. When he walked to an empty chair, he put a cloth bag there and turned around to walk 10 meters forward. At this time, an old man walked over and opened the bag. He looked at the interspatial ring inside, checked the spirit stones inside, and calmly put them into his pocket. After he was done, he walked toward a street with few people. However, what the old man didn't know was that 2 pairs of eyes were staring at him. Dragon Spike, how dare you kill our young master? You're dead for sure. The war between us has begun. A middle-aged man muttered as he walked towards the old man. Following behind the old man, they walked for a few streets. The old man took out his communication stone plate to take a look, and his body trembled slightly. He took a deep breath and walked towards a narrow path with almost no people. When he entered, the eyes of the middle-aged man behind him flickered, and he sped up. Pooh! A piercing sound rang out, and the old man jumped in fright. He quickly turned around and found that there was no one behind him. There were only traces of blood on the ground. At this moment, the communication stone plate in his hand trembled again, and the old man hurriedly looked over. You've been discovered. Immediately head over here. There was an address on the communication stone plate, and he was told to take a detour and carefully walk over. The old man's heart trembled, and determination appeared in his eyes. He walked towards a safe place that the Draconid had prepared for him. After walking for half an hour, the old man entered a room and heaved a heavy sigh of relief. What the old man didn't know was that a strange demon had been standing guard around him. With the strange demon's ability, he was almost 100% sure that no one was following him around. The old man was safe. Damn it, where's 12? 12 can't be contacted. In a street, a middle-aged man holding a communication stone plate with an angry face roared in a low voice. This dragon spike was prepared. 12 might be dead. The person in charge of the Undercurrent Assassin organization in Bright Moon City, the old man in white, said with a gloomy face. Sir, now we can't even find the spy of the dragon spike. When the leader comes, we... The middle-aged man said with a pale face. With the help of City Lord Liu and the others, that spy can't run away. The old man's eyes flashed with a cold light. Let's go to the City Lord's mansion. Yes, sir. The two of them walked straight to the City Lord's mansion. The city guards had already led them to a room. Every city was monitored by a formation. As long as there was nothing above them, they could clearly see what was below. In private areas, one was usually allowed to use a formation to block the city protection formation surveillance. However, this kind of surveillance was still extremely heaven-defying, unless one hid in a room and never came out. Found it. What a good dragon spike. It was actually prepared long ago. Chapter 1150. In the City Lord's mansion, the old man in charge of the undercurrent in Bright Moon City was monitoring the array formation with a cold expression in his eyes. From the monitoring of the array formation, they could see the hidden traces of the dragon spike, which eventually entered an ordinary courtyard. They even saw a white light appear behind Sha 13, directly killing him and putting his corpse into his interspatial ring. With our City Lord's manor assisting you, there shouldn't be any problems with this dragon spike, right? Beside the old man, a middle-aged man wearing the city guard leader's armor smiled at him and asked. Don't worry, a dragon spike wants to challenge our undercurrent assassin organization. This time, we'll let them know the consequences. The old man's face was gloomy as he coldly said. This dragon spike is not simple either. There might be an even stronger existence that can assassinate your ace assassin. The city guard leader said slowly. Don't worry, our leader will come tomorrow. The old man said in a deep voice. After saying that, he directly walked out. Speaking of the undercurrent leader, the city guard leader was also slightly silent. The master of undercurrent was a very extreme madman. When he had not established the undercurrent assassin organization, his reputation had already spread far and wide. In fact, as the leader of an assassin organization, the leader of undercurrent was not as mysterious as other people thought. On the contrary, many people knew the identity of the leader of undercurrent. He was once the young master of a family, but his family had offended an even more powerful family. One night, that family bribed the mayor and led everyone to kill the family of the master of undercurrent. On that night, he saw his parents killed and his wife humiliated. He was lucky enough to escape, but he didn't know what happened in the next 5 years. When he returned, he had the power of half-step void interpretation. On that night, he killed all his enemies, not even sparing a single child. He even killed all the women of that family. That scene was incomparably terrifying. Following that, his massacre did not end. He killed the mayor of that town, killing everyone he was once unhappy with. His form, his massacre, was no different from a madman. Anyone who dared to offend him would be directly humiliated to death. Later on, he established the Undercurrent Assassin Organization, causing the Undercurrent's might to shake the Star Moon Kingdom in an assassination attempt. It was his first son, who had been beaten to death for molesting a young lady from the insightful Void family. That night, he killed his way into that family, heavily injuring that family's insightful Void expert and killing everyone else in the family. From then on, He became famous in a single battle and was known as the Master of Undercurrent. That was already 40 years ago. The current Master of Undercurrent, even if he hadn't broken through to the second level of the Profound Void Realm, would still be extremely terrifying. This is also good. Because of the matter in Eastern Sea City, if Bright Moon City interferes, the Dragon Spike will definitely attack the city guards and force the City Lord's residents to not interfere in this matter. But now that the Undercurrent Assassin organization is in front, there's no need to worry at all. The leader of the city guards revealed a smile on his face. Let the two assassin organizations fight. All they had to do was to watch from the side. The sun gradually set. Wang Xian looked at the city that was still calm and revealed a smile. I wonder what will happen tomorrow. He stood in front of the window and smiled. Dragon King, reporting to Dragon King, there's an urgent matter. At this moment, Long Yi's anxious voice came from outside. Come in. Wang Xian frowned and looked at the anxious Long Yi. What's going on? Dragon King, something has happened to spy number 3. Long Yi said with an embarrassed expression. What's going on? Speak. Wang Xian asked him with a dark expression. Dragon King, spy number 3 was followed by an assassin from the Undercurrent when he was handing over the deposit. After the strange demon dealt with the assassin, we asked him to come to a very safe place. But we didn't expect that not long ago, we couldn't contact him. A strange demon went to check, but he was no longer there. He should have been taken away. Long Yi said hurriedly. Taken away? Wang Xian's eyes flickered. How did he get discovered? Dragon King, I asked the strange demon who was hiding beside number 3. He could guarantee that no one was following them, but now. Long Yi frowned and said with a bitter face. A spy was still captured under such circumstances, which made them feel a sense of danger. With the strange demon following behind, they are still captured. Wang Xian was deep in thought. He was very confident in the strength of the strange demon. Unless there was a Seathruff-level powerhouse following them, it was impossible for them not to be discovered. If it was not an expert at the insightful void level, there was only one way to discover it. The city protection formation. The surveillance of the mayor's residence. If it was not an expert at the insightful void level, only the mayor's residence could do this. Wang Xian's face slowly sank. He looked at Feng Wan and asked, Feng Wan, what is the relationship between the Undercurrent and Starmoon Kingdom? The Undercurrent Assassin Organization does not accept missions related to the officials of the Starmoon Kingdom. Other than their leader who killed a mayor 40 years ago, they have never assassinated any officials of the Starmoon Kingdom or even the city guards. Feng Wan looked at Wang Xian and hesitated for a moment. The strength of this undercurrent is not as strong as I imagined. However, they still exist in the Starmoon Kingdom. They should be related to the royal family. I got it. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. This could be explained. The news of the undercurrent being captured was provided by the mayor's residence. Other than the insightful void martial artist, the mayor's residence was the only one that was involved in this matter. This is troublesome. Wang Xian frowned. The Starmoon Kingdom was involved. If the Starmoon Kingdom were to assist the undercurrent, the Dragon Spike would be in a much more passive position. It seems like I have to get the mayor's residence to give up on helping the undercurrent. Otherwise, the spies will be captured one by one. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He looked at Long Yi and said, you should go back first. Let's take a look at the situation tomorrow. It's the Dragon King. Long Yi nodded his head and walked out. Wang Xian stood in front of the window and looked at the street outside. The street had already turned dark. One by one, luminous pearls lit up. The capture of a spy did not affect Long Xi's mission. The highest mission was to assassinate an extraordinary level 8 powerhouse. There were a total of 22 missions. After tonight, Long Xi could be considered to have announced their arrival completely. The only flaw was the ambush by the Undercurrent Assassin Organization, which caused a spy to go missing. If you guys want to play, then I'll play with you guys. Unless there are 4 to 5 void interpretation stage powerhouses in Bright Moon City guarding this place, Long CI would not be afraid even if Star Moon Kingdom and the Undercurrent Assassin Organization were to join forces. Wang Xian mumbled as a faint smile appeared on his face. Chapter 1151, Flew into a Rage. Damn it, I can't even get any information out of him. Why is this damn old man so stubborn? At this moment, in the branch of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization in Bright Moon City, an old man dressed in white looked at the old man in front of him who was covered in wounds with an unsightly expression. His expression was extremely gloomy. He had originally wanted to get the spy on the Dragon Spike to dig out information about the Dragon Spike from him, but this old man did not say anything. Even if there was any information about the Dragon Spike, he didn't say anything. This made him extremely angry. Sir, what do we do now? Without information about the Dragon Spike, how are we going to deal with them? The middle-aged man at the side also asked with a gloomy face. Phew, let's wait for tomorrow. When the leader comes tomorrow, we'll have a solution. The white-clothed old man said with a gloomy face. When he talked about the leader, his face was slightly pale. The middle-aged man at the side was slightly silent. He killed someone. The next morning, a shrill voice sounded in Bright Moon City. This voice didn't come from one place, but from several places. In the powerful mercenary group base, in the powerful clans. The shouts attracted the attention of many people. It's Dragon Spike. The Dragon Assassin Organization has assassinated Commander Gu. Oh my god, Commander Gu is a peak level 8 transcendent expert. They've made their move. Yesterday, Dragon Spike had assassinated the son of the Master of Undercurrent and the Ace Assassin of Undercurrent. They've announced their arrival. Today, they'll begin their mission. It's going to be chaotic. Bright Moon City is going to be chaotic. The price of the Dragon Assassin Organization is twice the price of Undercurrent. Many people will definitely look for Dragon Spike to make their move. Once what happened today happens, the others will definitely panic. There might be more and more people who will hire the Dragon Assassin. Early in the morning, when the news of the assassinations by the Dragon Assassin spread, the entire Bright Moon City became lively. Many people had solemn expressions on their faces. The arrival of the Dragon Assassin was completely different from the Undercurrent. In the past, there were not many people who hired the Undercurrent. The main reason was that the Undercurrent's fees were too high. Many people were not willing to pay such a high price. But now, a Dragon Spike had suddenly appeared, and the fee was half of the Undercurrent's fee. This made many people's hearts stir. Last night, more than 20 people had been assassinated by the Dragon Spike in one night, which made some people apprehensive. In the past, because the Undercurrent's fees were too high, they might not have been too worried that their enemies would hire assassins. But now that the Dragon Spike had appeared and suddenly reduced the hiring fee by 2 times, would their enemies and opponents take action? There was a very high possibility. When they thought of the more than 20 people that the Dragon Spike had assassinated last night, they became even more flustered. Now, many people felt like they had no choice but to shoot an arrow at the bowstring. Do you guys think that the Zhao family will hire the Dragon Spike? Father, I'm not sure, but with old dog Zhao's character, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Old dog Zhao has always wanted to get rid of us, but by hiring Undercurrents, the Zhao family will be severely injured. Now, they can barely afford the hiring fee. In the center of Bright Moon City, in a family that occupied an extremely large area and was well known throughout Bright Moon City, an old man sat there with a frown as he slowly conversed with a few middle-aged men. They were worried that the opponent would hire the Dragon Spike. They deeply understood that it was better to strike first. In the entire Bright Moon City, many families and mercenary groups were weighing this problem. Should they act or not? I really didn't expect that the arrival of the Dragon Spike would actually shake the entire Bright Moon City. This is something that even the Undercurrent Assassin Organization hasn't been able to do. The main reason is that this Dragon Spike is too fierce. It came to Bright Moon City and killed the son of the Undercurrent Master and the ace assassin of the Undercurrent. Moreover, the hiring price was twice as low. This caused the shock in Bright Moon City. I originally thought that the Undercurrent was stronger than the Dragon Spike. Now, it seems that this Dragon Spike is much more powerful than the Undercurrent. That's right. The Undercurrent obviously can't compare to the Dragon Spike. The leader's son and ace assassin were killed without any reaction. This Undercurrent is really useless. At the north gate of Bright Moon City, several members of the mercenary group were talking. At this moment, a middle-aged man with long hair slowly walked over from the north gate. The middle-aged man's long hair completely covered his eyes. He was wearing blue clothes with red stripes. He heard the conversation of several members of the mercenary group. The red stripes on his blue clothes were rotating like blood. Drops of blood-red liquid slowly flowed toward the three young men. No one in the surroundings noticed that 3 tiny drops of liquid were flowing on the ground. Bang, bang, bang. When the middle-aged man walked past the 3 young men, the sound of 3 people falling to the ground was suddenly heard, causing the people around them to look stunned. What's going on? What happened? Why did the 3 of them suddenly fall to the ground? A chaotic sound came from behind. The middle-aged man's face did not have the slightest fluctuation as he walked forward in a cold and desolate manner. His speed was very fast, so fast that many people around him did not notice him walking past them. He came to the front of a medicinal pill shop and walked straight over. In the medicinal pill shop, the white-clothed old man saw that he had arrived. His body trembled, and he hurriedly went up to greet him respectfully. "Leader!" The white-clothed old man called out in a low voice. The middle-aged man did not speak. He directly walked towards the back, and the white-clothed old man followed behind. "Ah!" Just as he entered the back room, the old man suddenly let out a miserable cry. His body trembled, and he took a deep breath of cold air. He looked at the arm on the ground. "It's me who failed to take good care of the young master. Please punish me, leader." The old man immediately knelt on the ground and didn't even move his arm. "Tell me the news about the Dragon Spike." The cold voice came out of the middle-aged man's mouth. He raised his head slightly and his long hair slowly spread to the back, revealing a pair of blood-red eyes. The old man knelt on the ground, not daring to look directly at him. Leader, we only caught a spy of the Dragon Spike, but we didn't get any useful information from him," the white-clothed old man said with a trembling body. "I'll handle this matter personally." The middle-aged man said word by word, "Go to the city lord's mansion." "Yes, it's leader." The old man in white nodded quickly and led the middle-aged man towards the city lord's mansion. At this moment, Wang Xian didn't know that a powerful opponent had arrived at Bright Moon City. He sat in the room of the restaurant and listened to the report of the Draconid with a smile on his face. Yesterday, the Dragon Spike had accepted 22 missions. However, today, they had accepted a total of 50 missions. The highest mission was to assassinate a Transcendent Level 9 powerhouse. After completing these missions, he would receive at least 2 billion mid-grade spirit stones. Chapter 1152, was furious. More than 2 billion middle-grade spirit stones. Even an ordinary Transcendent 9th level family would not be able to afford it. However, this 2 billion middle-grade spirit stones was a drop in the bucket for Wang Xian. If he wanted to raise his level now, he would need more than 100 billion middle-grade spirit stones. However, Wang Xian was not worried. As long as the Dragon Spike covered the entire Star Moon Kingdom, he should be able to obtain more than 100 billion middle-grade spirit stones. When that time came, he should be able to fight against an insightful void martial artist once his level was elevated to extraordinary level 8. You still have to pay attention to the spies. The Undercurrent Assassin organization will definitely not give up easily. Moreover, the leader of the Undercurrent has yet to appear. You have to be careful. Wang Xian reminded the Draconid. It's the Dragon King. With the presence of the Lords of the Strange Demon, there won't be any problems. The Draconid smiled and retreated. I still can't be careless. Wang Xian mumbled. He looked at all the information about the undercurrent assassin organization that Feng Yuan had obtained. He looked at the middle-aged man with long hair. This middle-aged man was a madman who killed people like a weed. The murder of his own family members had already driven him crazy. After the death of his second son, it had caused him to wipe out an aristocratic family of insightful emptiness realm experts. This young mastering was his third son. Now that he had died in his hands, with that madman's character, he would definitely not let this matter rest. However, this time, I, the Dragon Spike, am not afraid of you. Wang Xian's face revealed a cold expression. He would take whatever came his way. He was not afraid of an expert at the first level of the insightful emptiness realm. Dusk arrived again. At this moment, at the entrance of the mayor's residence, the leader of the city guards was following behind a middle-aged man with long hair with a respectful expression. He was a transcendent level 9 powerhouse, and he even followed by the side like a slave. The long-haired middle-aged man's face could not be seen, and his entire body was extremely cold. It's already arranged, right? The middle-aged man ignored the city guard leader and asked the white-clothed elder with a broken arm beside him coldly. Leader, it's already prepared. The spy for the Dragon Spike has already sent our people to pay the commission. The old man in white hurriedly replied. Okay, I will go there myself. The long-haired middle-aged man nodded, and the old man in white hurriedly led the way. The leader of the city guards behind wiped the cold sweat off his face and looked at his figure with some fear. In the evening, it was time for the spy of the Dragon Spike to collect the commission. At this time, it was the busiest time of the day in Bright Moon City. The members of the mercenary group who had returned and the workers who had finished the day's work. It's been 2 days, and Undercurrent hasn't made any reaction. Could it be that Undercurrent has given up? It's really possible. It seems that the Dragon Spike will become the king of the assassin world in the future. Undercurrent can't do it anymore. On the street, many people were talking about the 2 major assassin organizations. The long-haired middle-aged man stood there and listened to the discussions of the people around him. His eyes flickered with killing intent. He had 2 big taboos. One was his family. If anyone dared to kill his family, he would definitely kill his entire family. The second was the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. The Undercurrent Assassin Organization was his life's work. If anyone dared to say that it was an undercurrent, it would be a slap to his face. He looked at the people who were talking, and his eyes flashed with a cold light. Leader, it's appeared. The hidden line of the Dragon Spike has appeared. Yesterday, I sent Shirsan to follow that hidden line. Shirsan disappeared directly. There should be someone protecting the hidden line of the Dragon Spike. The voice of the old man in white rang out at this moment, causing the long-haired middle-aged man to narrow his eyes slightly and look forward. His gaze locked onto an old man. His gaze swept the surroundings, and he frowned slightly. The long-haired middle-aged man followed the spy of the Dragon Spike. The spy did not sense that someone was following him, and it was even more unexpected that the person following him was an expert at the Profound Void tier. He had to hand over the deposit that he had received according to the route to the Draconids. 10 Draconids were responsible for a specific location. The Draconids that he was handing over to were not very far away from him. In fact, they were only separated by 2 streets. The spy calmly walked towards the location where he was handing over to, with the long-haired middle-aged man following behind him. Suddenly, a glint flashed across the long-haired middle-aged man's eyes. He slightly swept his gaze towards a rooftop in front of the left, his eyes flashing with a luster. Is this the assassin of the Dragon Spike? A race of demon beasts. It won't be long before I exterminate all of you damned demon beasts. He muttered, his eyes revealing a cold expression. He followed the dark thread and walked forward. The strange demon hiding in the sky didn't find the long-haired middle-aged man following them. The long-haired middle-aged man was the master of Undercurrent, a cave-level assassin. They were following them, and it wasn't something a level 8 extraordinary strange demon could find. After walking for about 1,000 meters, the spy and the Draconid began to meet. "Sir, the commission has been safely received." The old man walked to the Draconid, smiled, and handed a cloth bag to the Draconid. "Good, very good." The Draconid smiled. "Continue to collect the commission." "Yes. I don't think there's a need. If you dare to make an enemy out of Undercurrent, all of you will die." Suddenly, a voice sounded beside their ears. The old man's expression froze, and the Draconid's face was filled with shock. A figure dressed in blue with red stripes and blood-red eyes was coldly staring at them. "Pang!" The Master of Undercurrent waved his arm, and the old man's body directly exploded, turning into a cloud of blood mist. "Dragon Spike, ha, you dare to kill my son and go against the Undercurrent. I will let you know the consequences of offending me." A cold voice suddenly sounded on the street. It was extremely loud and spread over a dozen kilometers. The sudden attack and the cold and ear-piercing voice caused everyone around to reveal shocked expressions. When everyone turned around to look, they revealed shocked expressions. There, a blood mist slowly fell towards the ground. Clearly, a person had been killed by the terrifying attack. A young man was controlled by the long-haired middle-aged man. His eyes were wide open as he looked at the long-haired middle-aged man in shock. "What? What's going on?" "That long-haired middle-aged man, he's the Master of Undercurrent." A middle-aged man looked at the Master of Undercurrent, who had slightly raised his head and revealed his blood-red eyes in shock. His eyes were filled with shock. Today is just the beginning. Under the gaze of thousands of people, the Master of Undercurrent controlled the body of the Draconid with one hand. His body moved, and he flew into the sky, attacking the strange monster. The strange monster, who had been hiding in the surroundings, revealed a terrified expression. Its expression changed drastically, and it hurriedly fled into the distance. "Assassin of the Dragon Spike, damned beast, you still want to escape?" The Master of Undercurrent shouted softly and stretched out his arm. A stream of blood-red water flowed directly towards the strange monster. The strange monster's expression changed drastically. It immediately used its void divine ability and once again fled into the distance. The eyes of the Master of Undercurrent narrowed slightly, and an angry expression appeared on his face. "Die!" The terrifying blood-red water flowed once again, and despair appeared in the strange monster's eyes. Its figure flashed and appeared. The strange demon was exposed to everyone for the first time. Chapter 1153, was furious. He had a pure white skin color and a thin body. One of his arms was like a sickle, while the other was as sharp as a spike. His two arms had slightly pointed heads. This was the form of a strange demon, and it was also the first time that the strange demon's form was displayed in front of everyone. "Oh my God, is that the assassin of the Dragon Assassin Organization? It's actually a type of demon beast. That's the Master of Undercurrent." The Master of Undercurrent made a move, and the Master of Undercurrent actually made a move personally. "Oh my God, that's too terrifying. I didn't expect that the counterattack of the Master of Undercurrent would come. Furthermore, it was so violent that he directly made a move in the city. The Master of Undercurrent is so powerful. If he didn't make a move, then so be it." Once he made a move, he directly caught the assassin of the Dragon Assassin, and the one in his hands is obviously a high-level member of the Dragon Assassin Organization. When the surrounding people saw this scene, their faces revealed a look of shock. Bright Moon City was Star Moon Kingdom's second-largest city. However, even so, the Master of Undercurrent was still extremely violent, directly killing people within the city. Moreover, he didn't have the slightest scruple to reveal his figure. He killed the assassin of the Dragon Spike on the spot and captured the high-ranking member of the Dragon Spike. This scene caused everyone to be dumbstruck and incomparably shocked. This was the Master of Undercurrent, the leader of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Strong people were respected, especially such domineering strong people. Many people felt slight admiration in their hearts. Dragon Spike Beast, let's start with you. The Master of Undercurrent's face revealed a cold expression. He controlled the blood-red water flow in his hand. With a slight movement, the strange monster's body was directly split into pieces. The majesty of Undercurrent cannot be touched. He roared and grabbed the Draconid. Stop! Stop right there. You dare to kill people in Bright Moon City? You're courting death. At this moment, the city guard who had arrived late roared and flew toward the position of Undercurrent Master. Undercurrent Master did not even glance at him. Instead, his gaze was directed toward the position below. Everyone around was slightly stunned. Under his gaze, the faces of the youths suddenly revealed expressions of fear. Just now, they were the ones who had spoken ill of Undercurrent, saying that Undercurrent was inferior to Dragon Spike. You dare to insult Undercurrent, die! He waved his arm, and a blood sword directly attacked those youths. No! When the youths saw the Master of Undercurrent charging towards them, their faces revealed a look of fear as they hurriedly shouted. Ah! In just an instant, the bodies of the youths had turned into streams of blood. This scene caused everyone to feel extremely terrified. Those youths had merely discussed Undercurrent, and had merely spoken ill of it. In the end, they had been killed. Such madness, tyranny, and bloodlust terrified everyone. This kind of person was too terrifying. They absolutely could not be provoked. Stop! The city guards' expressions were extremely ugly when they saw this scene. Even though they had heard of Undercurrent Master's madness, they were still extremely shocked when they saw it with their own eyes. Humph! Undercurrent Master snorted coldly and disappeared with the Draconid's body. Arriving. Killing. Leaving. Master of Undercurrent displayed without a doubt the bloodthirstiness and dominance of the leader of an assassin organization. Gulp, as expected of an assassin organization with 40 years of foundation in Star Moon Kingdom. It's too terrifying. His gaze is too terrifying. Completely ignoring the rules of Star Moon Kingdom and directly killing people on the spot. Heavens, he's too strong. Dragon Spike is in trouble now. The Master of Undercurrent found the higher-ups of Dragon Spike and casually killed a dragon assassin hiding in the surroundings. This dragon assassin is actually a demon beast. It's really unbelievable. The Master of Undercurrent left, leaving behind tens of thousands of people with shocked expressions. They looked at the corpse of the dragon assassin on the ground and were shocked. Now, the dragon assassin is in trouble. It's an Undercurrent assassin organization after all, and it's not something the dragon assassin can offend. Now, the Master of Undercurrent is completely furious. Next, I wonder if the dragon assassin can withstand the anger of the Undercurrent. Damn it, damn the dragon assassin, I gave a mission today, and I gave a commission. Now, the mission is probably hanging by a thread. The surrounding people whispered to each other. Those young men had been killed on the spot by the Master of Undercurrent for speaking ill of him. This violent warning made everyone stop speaking ill of Undercurrent. They didn't even dare to have the slightest suspicion. And the bloodlust and violence that the Master of Undercurrent had displayed was deeply engraved in everyone's hearts. This kind of person was absolutely not to be provoked. This was a madman. The leader of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization, Undercurrent Master, killed the dragon assassin on the spot and captured the dragon assassin's higher-ups. In less than half an hour, the news spread throughout Bright Moon City. This news undoubtedly shocked everyone. The people of Bright Moon City originally thought that the dragon assassin dared to kill the son of Undercurrent Master and the ace assassin of Undercurrent. They thought that they could deal with Undercurrent Master. Now, it seemed that it was completely different from what they thought. The domineering appearance of the Master of Undercurrent made everyone see what was terrifying and bloodthirsty. The entire Bright Moon City was talking about the Master of Undercurrent. News about the past of the Master of Undercurrent was also spread out. When everyone heard about the Master of Undercurrent, their eyes were filled with fear. Dragon King, a spy was killed, a strange demon was killed, and Long Qi was also captured by the Master of Undercurrent. A panicked voice sounded in the restaurant. Long Yi reported to Wang Xian anxiously. The spy had been killed, Long Qi had been captured, and even a strange demon had been killed. This was the first time the Dragon Assassin organization had suffered such heavy losses since its establishment. This was also the most troublesome matter that the Dragon Assassin organization had encountered since its establishment. I already know. Wang Xian stood there with a gloomy face. His eyes were extremely cold. Ao Yao, bring me the soul of the strange demon first. He took out a piece of soul-returning wood from his interspatial ring and threw it to Ao Yao, who was beside him. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao took it and immediately disappeared. He looked outside and took a deep breath. A void interpretation expert personally took action. This is really out of my expectations. Madman, you are indeed a madman. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. It was indeed out of his expectations for the Master of Undercurrent to make a move personally. Killing someone on the spot was even more surprising to him. Unbridled, this Master of Undercurrent was even more unbridled than Wang Xian. Right now, the Dragon Spike doesn't have the strength to kill you, so I'll let you live a little longer. However, don't think that you alone can stop the Dragon Spike's footsteps. You, the Master of Undercurrent, can't do it. Not even a void interpretation expert can do it. You want me, the Dragon Spike, to wait and destroy my Dragon Spike? Hee hee. Next, I'd like to see where you, the Master of Undercurrent, will put your face. Anger rose in Wang Xian's heart. He was angry at the arrogance of the Master of Undercurrent. He was also angry that the Dragon Spike couldn't kill him directly. However, he would return it to him. Next, he would collect some interest first. Chapter 1154, slapped his face. Did something happen? Do you need help? In the room of the restaurant, Feng Luan looked at the sullen Wang Xian and asked in a low voice. No, it's nothing serious. Wang Xian smiled. I can solve this problem myself. That's good. If it's really not possible, I can help you get rid of the Master of Undercurrent. Feng Luan nodded and said to him. Wang Xian shook his head. He didn't need to get rid of the Master of Undercurrent. All he needed to know was where he was. The Dragon Spike couldn't afford to offend an expert at the insightful void level. However, this didn't mean that the Dragon Spike would be afraid of an expert at the insightful void level. He stood in the room and waited quietly. A pensive look appeared on his face. Not long after, a faint smile appeared on his face. Dragon King, the strange demon's soul has been absorbed. Do you want to look for the Draconid? A dozen minutes later, Ao Yao's voice sounded beside Wang Xian and reported to him. I can sense the location of the Draconid. Wang Xian looked at Ao Yao and said, Ao Yao, I have a mission for you. Monitor the Master of Undercurrent and his actions. From now on, when the spy receives the commission, you will guard the Master of Undercurrent. Once you discover his actions, immediately report to the Draconid. I would like to see if his next words will smack his own face. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile. It's the Dragon King. Leave it to me. Ao Yao nodded. Be careful. Wang Xian nodded and reminded him. Don't worry, Dragon King. Ao Yao revealed a confident expression. Ao Yao currently possessed the combat strength of a half-step void interpretation. The most powerful aspect of the prickly dragons was their ability to assassinate and conceal themselves. Now that Ao Yao was a complete prickly dragon, he was able to evade the detection of a first-level void interpretation. Of course, if the other party possessed powerful ocular skills, Ao Yao might not be able to hide it from him. However, if it was the Master of Undercurrent, he would definitely not be able to discover the existence of Ao Yao. Walking in the light and darkness, the powerful thorny dragon species was the most terrifying killer in the Dragon Palace. He should be at the position of the Draconid here. Let's go, I'll bring you there. Wang Xian could sense the location of the Draconid and walked out directly. Ao Yao was hiding around him. Only a powerhouse above level 2 of the see-through realm would be able to detect him. If Ao Yao were to be on high alert and pay attention to this situation, it would be very difficult for even a level 2 see-through realm expert to detect Ao Yao. Damn, Undercurrent has posted a message in the public forum of Bright Moon City. They want to destroy this dragon spike so that they have no place in Bright Moon City or even the entire Star Moon Kingdom. They even want to destroy the dragon spike. Wow, the Undercurrent Master is simply too overbearing. He killed the assassin who killed the dragon spike in the city under everyone's gaze, and now he wants to announce that he's going to destroy the dragon spike. He's too confident. After all, he's a veteran expert who has risen to power for decades. He's an assassin organization that has dominated the underground world of Star Moon Kingdom for decades. His strength is unfathomable. It's said that the dragon spike received quite a number of missions today. Now, the people who hired the dragon spike are out of luck. The commission has been paid, but the dragon spike is also finished. Yeah, those people are probably going to suffer heavy losses. However, it's their bad luck. Who asked them to hire Dragon Spike? Wang Xian walked out of the restaurant and heard the sounds of discussions around him. He raised his eyebrows slightly. The incident that happened this evening had indeed dealt a huge blow to Dragon Spike's reputation. On the contrary, the domineering and bloodthirsty leader of Undercurrent made many people fearful. After the leader of Undercurrent killed those people who spoke ill of Undercurrent, no one in the entire Bright Moon City dared to speak ill of the Undercurrent assassin organization. Today is just the beginning. Wang Xian took out his communication stone plate and looked at the information in the public area of Bright Moon City. On it, there was indeed a manifesto of the Undercurrent assassin organization. When he saw this manifesto, a hint of mockery appeared on his face. Let's wait and see then. He kept walking forward. When Wang Xian came to the front of an elixir shop, his body paused slightly. Ao Yao, the leader of the Undercurrent, is inside. A middle-aged man with long hair in blue and red patterns has been staring at him. Wang Xian transmitted his voice to Ao Yao, who was beside him. It's the Dragon King. Leave it to me. Ao Yao replied. Wang Xian nodded his head. This master of Undercurrent was extremely arrogant. He didn't bother to hide his identity and attacked directly. Almost everyone knew his face. If Ao Yao wanted to spy on him, it would be extremely easy for her. After returning to the restaurant, Wang Xian waited quietly for the arrival of night. This dragon spike, will it take the commission and not attack? In a luxurious mountain villa, an old man sat there with a gloomy expression as he muttered. Today, they had made a huge decision to take out 80% of their entire clan's spirit stones to hire the dragon spike. Then, the incident in the afternoon was like a basin of cold water that was poured over their heads. It was ice cold. They were afraid. They were afraid that the dragon spike would escape because of the appearance of the master of Undercurrent and take their commission to escape. They were very worried. I don't know. The master of Undercurrent's performance today was too strong. I'm worried. An old man beside him frowned and sighed. Why? I took out all my life savings and spirit stones that I risked my life to get revenge for my father. Why did this happen? I'm not willing to accept it. Is God going to treat me like this? In the poor area of Bright Moon City, a young man was sitting in a room. He was clenching his fists tightly. His nails were inserted into his flesh, and blood was flowing out. However, he didn't feel any pain at all. He had taken out all the spirit stones because he wanted to take revenge for his father. However, such a thing had happened now. He was unwilling to accept it. Why was it like this? Not only these two places, but many places in Bright Moon City were experiencing the same thing. The overlord and invincibility of the master of Undercurrent made many people worry that the dragon spike was probably going to be finished. And the commission for hiring the dragon spike would probably not be able to come back. Many people were unwilling to accept the fact that their opponents were not killed and that they had suffered heavy losses instead. The families, mercenary groups, and some individuals who had given out missions sat at home with worried expressions and did not sleep for a night. The dragon spike may be late, but it will definitely not be absent. We will definitely complete the mission that we have accepted. We won't even be late. The dragon spike has already enveloped the entire Bright Moon City. No one can expel it. The undercurrent can't do it, and neither can the undercurrent master. You want to destroy us? We will accompany you to the end. It was late at night. It was already 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. When the last strange demon returned to report the situation, Wang Xian took out his communication stone plate. The undercurrent master had killed the dragon spike assassin in public, and the undercurrent assassin organization had issued such a declaration in Bright Moon City. Therefore, Wang Xian could not show any weakness. Of course, he had to slap his face in front of everyone. Chapter 1155, Hit in the Face. In the middle of the night, almost everyone was already resting. No one was browsing the public forums in Bright Moon City. After Wang Xian's news was sent out, it didn't cause much of a stir. However, Wang Xian didn't mind it. The real start would come tomorrow. The battle between the two assassin organizations was very interesting. Wang Xian smiled and saw Feng Luan resting on the bed. He smiled and sat on the chair to cultivate. Murder. What happened to the post that was posted late at night on the public forum of Bright Moon City? Was that the declaration made by the Dragon Thorns? Dead. More than a dozen experts from the Yang family of the Northern District were killed. Oh my god, all the top-notch experts were killed overnight. 50 to 60 people died last night. All of them were done by the Dragon Assassin Organization. There is a congratulatory death note from the Dragon Assassin Organization. On the forum, it should be a message from the Dragon Assassin Organization. FUCK, they are going against the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. I have to say, this Dragon Assassin Organization is quite disciplined. The mission that they accepted yesterday was completed today. Moreover, they destroyed a family with a transcendent level 9 expert. This Dragon Assassin Organization is not simple. The next morning, the entire Bright Moon City became lively. Screams of murder. The message in the Bright Moon City forum. Many families and experts had been destroyed. The entire Bright Moon City exploded early in the morning. This caused the citizens who were prepared to watch the show to reveal expressions of interest. The Dragon Spike has made a move, the Dragon Spike has made a move. I didn't expect this Dragon Spike to be so trustworthy. Father is in heaven. Thank you, Dragon Spike. That's great, that's great. This Dragon Spike is really trustworthy. As long as we accept the mission, we will definitely complete it. This is the credibility that an assassin organization should have. Not bad, not bad. Looks like our money wasn't wasted. It was worth it, very worth it, However, the mission publishers who had originally not had much hope for the mission were excited when they received the news. Not only did the Dragon Spike not escape, but he even completed the mission at night. This kind of behavior made them very excited. Especially the 3 provocative words from the Dragon Spike. In their eyes, this was the Dragon Spike's counterattack and also the Dragon Spike's confidence. Even if the Master of Undercurrent had killed so many people in public last night in such a domineering manner, the Dragon Spike still didn't care about you. I knew it. Since the Dragon Spike dared to kill the son of the Master of Undercurrent, he definitely won't admit defeat so easily. It's probably just the beginning now. What's next is interesting. The Master of Undercurrent swore to kill the Dragon Spike in public, and the Dragon Spike didn't show any weakness in his response. Interesting. Some people were whispering in the restaurant. However, while everyone was discussing, there was a new problem. Yesterday, Dragon Spike had accepted more than 50 missions, and 50 to 60 people were directly killed. Moreover, they were still accepting missions. Yesterday, those who didn't make a move were assassinated by Dragon Spike hired by their enemies. Today, would they make a move? If they didn't make a move, their opponents might not be able to sit still and ask Dragon Spike to make a move. The Dragon Spike's assassination once again caused many people to sink into a state of anxiety. Some people were hesitating. Let's bet on this Dragon Spike. If they can withstand the attack of the Master of Undercurrent, if their enemies hire them first. In front of their own lives, everyone had to think carefully. Strike first to gain strength, then to suffer. Everyone had to think about it. Damn it, go to hell. At this moment, in the base of the Undercurrent Assassin organization in Bright Moon City, the Master of Undercurrent waved his arm with a cold face. Bang! The Draconid who was hanging on the torture device turned into a bloody mist. He stared at it with a gloomy face. One night, an entire night, he did not receive any news about the Dragon Spike. However, just now, the Dragon Spike had provoked him, making him extremely angry. I want to see how many people your Dragon Spike has that I can kill. I'll play along. Kiki, then let's play. I have plenty of time. The Master of Undercurrent's eyes revealed a crazed expression as he muttered softly. The one-armed white-clothed old man could not help but shiver, his eyes revealing a terrified expression. Their leader had gone crazy. According to him, this kind of crazy state only happened twice. The first time was when his family was destroyed. The first time was when his eldest son was killed. This time was when his second son was killed and Undercurrent was provoked. He could already imagine what would happen if the Dragon Spike was stared at by the leader. Go and prepare. The Master of Undercurrent coldly said to the white-clothed old man by the side. Its leader. The old man in white quickly bowed and walked out quickly. Beside the leader, there was a feeling of accompanying a king like accompanying a tiger. The entire Bright Moon City was discussing the Dragon Assassin organization and the Master of Undercurrent. On the Bright Moon City's forum, Wang Xian's statement had also attracted countless attention. There were many comments about how awesome the Dragon Assassin was and how domineering the Dragon Assassin was. The confrontation between the two assassin organizations had caused the entire forum to become much livelier. There were even people who set up a bet to see who would win in the end. Wang Xian looked at the information on the forum and revealed a faint smile on his face. This was only the beginning. The beginning of a face-smacking. As long as someone issued a mission, as long as it complied with the rules of the Dragon Assassin organization, the Dragon Assassin would not reject anyone who came. Of the 40 strange demons he brought, one was killed by the Master of Undercurrent, and the remaining 39 were killed. Of these 39, 19 were able to assassinate level 9 Transcendents. No matter how many missions there were, the Dragon Spike was able to accept them. In this one day, the Dragon Spike accepted more than 60 missions, from assassinating level 4 Transcendents to the highest level 9 Transcendents. After a thorough examination, the Dragon Spike accepted all of them. Long Yi, keep in contact with Ao Yao at all times. You must be careful this time. Wang Xian reminded Long Yi. It's the Dragon King. Don't worry. Long Yi nodded. The death of a Draconid had already made them realize the seriousness of the problem. In the evening, according to the usual practice of the Dragon Spike, it was time to pay the commission. The streets were crowded with people, so no one knew who the spy of Dragon Spike was. Only when the spy of Dragon Spike came out to take the commission would the person who paid the commission know that it was the spy of Dragon Spike. This method was very safe and also very dangerous. If the person who paid the commission wanted to deal with the spy, it would be very easy. Today, Dragon Spike was still using this method. And today, the Master of Undercurrent also used this method. He and the white-clothed old man followed a middle-aged man from afar. The middle-aged man came to the designated location, placed an interspatial ring on the trash can, and walked forward for more than 10 meters. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, waiting for the Dragon Spike and Dark Thread to take the bait. Chapter 1156, was a slap in the face. Bright Moon City was bustling with people, vehicles, and members of the mercenary group riding fierce beasts. Everything seemed prosperous and peaceful. Ao Yao stood at the top of a 5-story tall restaurant, looking down like air. His gaze was locked on the Master of Undercurrent, a powerful warrior at the profound Void Realm. The Master of Undercurrent was wearing a bamboo hat today, which revealed his mysteriousness. There were not many people in Bright Moon City who were dressed like this, and no one paid attention to them. When they stopped, Ao Yao immediately took out the communication stone plate and sent a message to Long Yi and the others. The members of the Dragon Palace were not as intelligent as those wild beasts and fierce beasts. Their intelligence was even much higher than that of ordinary humans. In the past, the civil officials in the Dragon Palace had taught them a lot. Their intelligence was not lower than that of humans of the same level. In fact, they were even stronger. After sending the message through the communication stone plate, Long Yi immediately received the message and immediately sent it to the spy. When the spy received Long Yi's message, he was slightly stunned and immediately walked further away. According to Long Yi's instructions, he immediately sent a message to the undercurrent assassin who kept the interspatial ring. Let the leader of your undercurrent, the Master of Undercurrent, die. You want to play with us? I hope he can have a good time. After he sent the message, he walked forward aimlessly. He had no idea that he was the spy of the Dragon Spike. The undercurrent assassin was waiting for the appearance of the Dragon Spike's spy. When he saw the message, he was slightly stunned and his face immediately turned dark. A dark expression appeared on his face. He hurriedly reported this matter to the white-clothed old man. Leader, something has happened. We have been discovered. When the white-clothed old man saw the message, his expression darkened. He took a deep breath and reported to the Master of Undercurrent beside him in a low voice. What? We have been discovered. The old man's words also caused the Master of Undercurrent's expression to darken. He stood there, his eyes flickering with a luster as a murderous aura slowly spread out. Go back. He expressionlessly returned to the undercurrent's base and looked at the white-clothed old man. Think of a way. These 3 words were directly thrown onto the white-clothed old man's face. This caused the white-clothed old man's face to be filled with worry. How did the Dragon Assassin organization know that that person was their undercurrent's assassin? How was this possible? They had concealed themselves very well, so how had they been discovered? The white-robed old man was puzzled and felt a little helpless. How were they supposed to find them? The other party was obviously a powerful assassin organization as well. Neither of them knew anything about the other party. Where was he supposed to find the Dragon Spike? I've met my opponent. The white-robed old man took a deep breath and could only walk towards the city lord's residence, hoping to obtain some information from them. Another day passed. Nothing major happened during the day. As night came, the night was much brighter than before. In Bright Moon City, many families and mercenary groups' bases were brightly lit. The appearance of the Dragon Spike and the assassination made many people apprehensive. Many aristocratic families and mercenary groups activated defensive formations to prevent people from hiring the Dragon Spike to assassinate them. However, what they didn't know was that these formations were completely useless against the Dragon Spike. They also didn't know how powerful the Dragon Spike was in Bright Moon City. Not good, Master has been killed. Young Master has been killed, it's the Dragon Spike, it's the Dragon Spike. They're here, someone hired the Dragon Spike to assassinate young Master. Because many families didn't have any rest tonight, the guards were patrolling non-stop. And the sky hadn't yet brightened. In the middle of the night, some families in Bright Moon City started to exclaim. When some people around heard it, they looked to the side in fear. It's the Dragon Spike. The Dragon Spike is making a move again. The Dragon Spike is too powerful. In Bright Moon City, as long as they receive a mission, the target of the assassination will be 100% killed. Didn't the Undercurrent Assassin Organization say to deal with Dragon Spike? Didn't the Master of Undercurrent say to kill all the assassins of Dragon Spike? What's going on? Dragon Spike is still carrying out the mission. In the middle of the night, some family members and members of the mercenary group were talking to each other. They looked at each other with some surprise in their eyes. Dragon Spike was still carrying out the mission. Then, could it be said that the words of the Master of Undercurrent that day were simply slapping his own face? Damn, the members of the Dragon Spike Assassin organization have posted the news in the Bright Moon City forum again. The Dragon Spike's mission tonight has been completed. Where is that trash, the Undercurrent Master? Didn't they say that they wanted to kill the assassins of our Dragon Spike? The Dragon Spike Assassin organization is simply a blatant provocation. They are definitely going to take down the Undercurrent Assassin organization. This is too much of a slap to the face. That afternoon, in front of tens of thousands of people, the Master of Undercurrent directly said that he wanted to eliminate Dragon Assassin. Now, this slap to the face is really painful. Right now, I want to know the expression of the Master of Undercurrent. This is a blatant slap to the face. If the Master of Undercurrent did not retaliate, it would be a huge loss of face. It's not just a loss of face. His entire Undercurrent Assassin organization can forget about mingling in Star Moon Kingdom. At this moment, the people who had been awakened in the forum saw the message Dragon Spike had posted, and they all replied below. Here, they were not afraid of the Master of Undercurrent, and the Master of Undercurrent would not be able to discover that they were speaking ill of Undercurrent, so they replied without the slightest scruple. This time, if the Master of Undercurrent and the others did not respond, they would really be slapping themselves in the face. Time slowly passed, and the sun gradually rose. The information in Bright Moon City's discussion also became more and more fervent, and soon, the replies reached several million. When it was morning, almost the entire Bright Moon City knew about the Dragon Spike's provocation to the Undercurrent Master. Is there any information from the City Lord's residence? Dragon Spike, within 3 days, I must have him die. When the Master of Undercurrent saw the Dragon Spike mocking him on the Bright Moon City forum, his eyes were completely covered in blood. He suddenly turned his head to look at the white-clothed old man and growled in a low voice. Leader, don't worry, don't worry. They might have coincidentally discovered it yesterday. Let's try again today. If they still discover it today, we still have a way. We still have a way. The old man in white hurriedly said with a face full of fear. Okay. The Master of Undercurrent turned his head, and his long hair once again covered his eyes. Interesting, really interesting. It's been a long time since I've met an opponent. After a full 5 minutes of silence, the Master of Undercurrent's somewhat hoarse voice was heard. There was a hint of excitement and madness in his voice. Sir, as long as we have the City Lord's mansion to help us, we will be in an invincible position. The Dragon Spike will only be arrogant for a few days. Seeing the expression in the Master of Undercurrent's eyes, the white-clothed old man immediately felt a wave of fear. Yes, yes, it's the leader. He handed over the communication stone plate and lowered his head, not daring to look at it. He could see the Master of Undercurrent clenching his fists, but what he could not see was the crazy killing intent flashing in the Master of Undercurrent's eyes. Humiliation, naked humiliation. He had also seen on the Bright Moon City forum that countless people were ridiculing him, and now with this. Just like many people's replies, it was a slap in the face, a blatant slap in the face. The expression of the Master of Undercurrent was extremely cold. He wanted to kill someone. Leader, we still have another way. There's another way. We don't need to act. Let the City Lord's manor continue to monitor the situation here. The Dragon Spike definitely won't be able to think of it. The white-clothed old man hurriedly said to the Master of Undercurrent. The Master of Undercurrent didn't say anything. His body moved, and he directly disappeared on the spot. The surrounding people looked over in astonishment, their faces filled with shock. The white-clothed old man revealed an embarrassed expression as he slowly walked towards the Undercurrent base. What our Master of Undercurrent needs, Lu Wenlong, will naturally do my best to cooperate. That dragon assassin organization has always been incomparably arrogant. They don't put Star Moon Kingdom in their eyes. Even the king wants to exterminate such an organization. Within the City Lord's residence, City Lord Lu looked at the Master of Undercurrent who had suddenly appeared in front of him and replied with a smile on his face. I want you to use all your strength to dig out all the members of the Dragon Assassin organization. The Master of Undercurrent did not hold back as he sat at the side and directly said to City Lord Lu. All your strength? That's fine, but if you want to make a move, you still need to do it. You should also know the reason behind it. City Lord Lu hesitated for a moment before nodding. Alright, I want to know all the members of the Dragon Spike in Bright Moon City. I want to kill them one by one with my own hands. The Master of Undercurrent said in a low voice. Tomorrow we will send people to issue missions and dig out more spies. After that, we will find their higher-ups. We will pass all the information to the brothers of the Master of Undercurrent. City Lord Lu stood up and said directly. Alright, I'll wait for your news. The Undercurrent Master nodded coldly, and with a flash, he disappeared. City Lord Lu looked at his disappearing figure, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Dragon Spike, you're too arrogant. You assassinated the mayor of Star Moon Kingdom and provoked the City Lord. Don't you know that this is Star Moon Kingdom's territory? This time, you guys actually fell in Bright Moon City, right? A bunch of arrogant beasts. City Lord Lu muttered, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. A day passed very quickly, and night represented slaughter. In the entire Bright Moon City, unless one was an expert at the Profound Void tier, there was no one who could not be killed. A night passed in the blink of an eye. Those who had slept for a night also woke up, but there was also a group of people who would never wake up. In the past few days, it was a common practice to hear people exclaiming as they walked out of the room. What family patriarch had been assassinated by the Dragon Assassin? What mercenary group leader had been assassinated by the Dragon Assassin? Who had died at the hands of the Dragon Assassin group? News quickly spread throughout Bright Moon City. In just 3 days, the reputation of the Dragon Assassin group had completely spread throughout Bright Moon City. As for the Undercurrent Assassin organization, after 2 consecutive days of silence, they were already considered to be helpless against the Dragon Spike. This made many people sigh with emotion. The once powerful Undercurrent had been replaced by the Dragon Spike. After 3 days of assassination by the Dragon Spike, not only did Bright Moon City not fall silent, but the atmosphere became even more heated. For a large city with a population of nearly 20 million, the death of 200 people was just a drop in the bucket. So many people were assassinated. Not only did it not calm people down, it made them even crazier. Dragon King, there are 50 more employers today than yesterday. Chapter 1158, Joined Forces to Deal with the Dragon Spike. 50 more. When Wang Xian saw Long Yi walking in to report, he was astonished. The number of missions had increased by half compared to yesterday. This was at least 200 to 300 million more middle-grade spirit stones. 150. A group of strange demons can easily assassinate us. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head lightly. The daily income of more than 1 billion middle-grade spirit stones was something that even the largest trading company in Star Moon Kingdom could not achieve. All of you go and make preparations. Be careful. Wang Xian waved his hand at Long Yi and reminded him. It's the Dragon King. Long Yi nodded his head and walked out. If I want to deal with the Dragon Assassin organization now, there are 2 ways. At this moment, Feng Luan, who was at the side, suddenly spoke up. This caused Wang Xian, who was looking at the communication stone plate, to be slightly stunned. He looked at Feng Luan in puzzlement. Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian with a calm expression. The Undercurrent has a good relationship with Star Moon Kingdom. They can use the city protection formation to monitor your Undercurrent. There's no need for the Master of Undercurrent to take action personally. All they need to do is to monitor your people. Secondly, hire the dragon spike but ambush the experts around the victims. These two methods can deal a huge blow to the dragon spike. As she spoke, she stood up slowly. Now that the Undercurrent Assassin organization has a blood feud with the dragon spike, Starmoon Kingdom will not wish for such an assassin organization to exist. Their counterattack will definitely come very soon. Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan and frowned slowly. He knew that this was Feng Luan's reminder to him. He was indeed a little arrogant and overconfident these 2 days. As someone who once controlled an empire, Feng Luan saw something that he did not. That's right. They will not let this matter rest. The leader of the Undercurrent is not someone who will give up easily. Wang Xian frowned. Buzz! Buzz! At this moment, the communication stone plate in Wang Xian's hand vibrated. He was slightly stunned and immediately looked over. It was a message from Ao Yao. Upon seeing this message, Wang Xian's face slowly turned solemn. The leader of Undercurrent made a trip to the City Lord's mansion yesterday and is now heading to the City Lord's mansion. It seems that they are going to join forces to target the dragon spike. Wang Xian frowned and a pensive look appeared on his face. That's right. Starmoon Kingdom will never allow the existence of a force like the dragon spike. In the city, unless you can intimidate the Starmoon Kingdom, they will always target the dragon spike. Feng Luan was not surprised at all when she heard Wang Xian's words. In the past, when we were in Donghai City, I ordered the dragon spike to assassinate the city guards crazily. In the end, the city lord of Donghai City surrendered. It is still possible to use this method in Bright Moon City and even Starmoon Kingdom. Wang Xian thought about it and said slowly. Feng Luan nodded. This is a very good method. However, Bright Moon City is using the power of the Undercurrent to deal with the dragon spike. I don't care if they are using the power of the Undercurrent or not. As long as they dare to make a move, I will attack the city guards and officials of Bright Moon City. A hint of coldness flashed across Wang Xian's eyes. Then make a move as soon as possible. Don't let them weave a web to attack the dragon spike. Feng Luan reminded him, it's possible. The net has already been woven. Wang Xian fell into deep thought. He knew that he had missed an opportunity. When he first learned that the Castellan's residents had been monitoring the dragon spike with a formation and wanted to deal with it, Wang Xian should have sent the dragon spike to teach the Castellan's residents a deep lesson. That way, they wouldn't dare to continue targeting the dragon spike. Now, the Castellan's residents had obviously joined forces with the Undercurrent Assassin organization. This was a little tricky. An assassin organization is something that every kingdom doesn't wish to exist. Even if it exists, this kingdom must be able to control and restrain this assassin organization. The dragon spike is already a thorn in the side of the kingdom. In the future, when you enter other kingdoms, you can either keep a low profile or be extremely high profile. Only by making this kingdom afraid will you be able to gain a better foothold. Feng Luan's voice rang out again as she reminded him. Wang Xian nodded his head slowly and looked at Feng Luan with a smile. It seems like I should have consulted you earlier. Tell me, what should the dragon assassins do now? As Wang Xian spoke, he sat beside Feng Luan and asked with a smile. Wang Xian felt that he had been a little foolish these few days. Feng Luan was the #1 empress in the history of time. Her experience were definitely better than his. He could totally let her handle the matters of the dragon assassin organization. After all, Feng Luan had used her dragon blood to reconstruct her physical body. She could also be considered a member of the Dragon Palace. Moreover, the relationship between the two of them was a little complicated. Why don't I hand over the management of the Dragon Assassin organization to Feng Luan in the future, and I can be the boss? As Wang Xian thought of this, he narrowed his eyes slightly and stared at Feng Luan with a smile. What kind of look is that? Feng Luan saw him squinting his eyes and gave him a dirty look. It's an admiring look. I want to seek advice from our empress. Wang Xian chuckled. Feng Luan turned her body sideways and didn't look at his annoying face. What we need to do now is to change the location of the spy as soon as possible. We need to try our best to find hidden areas where the formation can't see us. Also, don't let your subordinates come into contact with the spy. Let Ao Yaoshan take back the commission without anyone knowing. If that's the case, even if we lose money, it would only damage a few spies. What's next? Wang Xian asked directly. You're asking me if you know what's next. Of course, you're looking for trouble with the mayor's residence. Feng Luan rolled her eyes at him. Impressive, impressive. As expected of the only empress since the beginning of time. Why don't you help me deal with the development of the dragon spike? With the empress around, I believe that the development of the dragon spike will be smoother. Wang Xian said with a smile. I know what you're planning. You left the matters of the Dragon Palace to Prime Minister Gui. Now, you want me to help you deal with the dragon spike? Don't even think about it. Feng Luan rolled her eyes at him. Now that the Dragon Phoenix Empire had just been established, she had her hands full. This guy even wanted her to deal with a force for him. Then what was he going to do? Sleep with his wives every day. She would never let him be so comfortable. Sigh, you. Wang Xian was a little speechless when he saw Feng Luan's refusal. It seemed that his plan had failed. He shook his head and took out his communication stone plate. Then, he gave out his orders. Boom. At this moment, a thunderous sound came from the sky. Wang Xian looked out of the window. It's going to rain. I've been in my room for a few days. Do you want to go out for a walk? He looked at Feng Luan and asked her. Feng Luan looked outside and nodded her head faintly. All right, let's go out and take a look. Meow. The meow of the fire and ice civet cat could be heard from the side. A skinny figure jumped onto Wang Xian's shoulder. Let's go. Wang Xian picked up the umbrella in the room and said with a smile. Chapter 1159. Let's see who goes crazy. With Wang Xian's current strength, he didn't need an umbrella at all. Feng Luan didn't need an umbrella either. However, an umbrella was more romantic on a rainy day. There was no need to use spiritual energy to block the rain. Keep one of your tails and your eyes. Don't have one blue and one red. Wang Xian stroked the head of the ice-fire civet cat and said to it. Good chicken. A tender voice came out from the mouth of the ice-fire civet cat. The voice was very cute. As it spoke, its tail swayed and its eyes rolled. Other than the red and blue colors on its body, its eyes and tail returned to normal. It was no different from an ordinary kitten. Meow. After it hid itself, the ice-fire civet cat jumped onto Feng Luan's shoulder. This little guy is really smart. Feng Luan smiled and patted its head. She looked at Wang Xian and said, let's go. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head. As a top-tier demonic beast, the ice-fire civet cat was able to babble after Wang Xian taught it how to speak for the past 2 days. Its IQ was similar to that of a 7 or 8-year-old child. It was already drizzling outside when they walked out of the restaurant. Wang Xian held up an umbrella to shield the two of them. Both Wang Xian and Feng Luan wore a mask. The function of the mask was not to hide their entire body, but to change their other faces. Other than being able to see Feng Luan's bright eyes, their entire face was completely different from before. I've been reading the forums of Bright Moon City for the past 2 days and I know of a very famous place. It's a place that combines delicacies and beautiful scenery. Especially when it's raining, it's even more beautiful. Wang Xian said with a smile. Alright, let's go and take a look. Lead the way. Feng Luan nodded with a smile. Alright, let's go then. Wang Xian smiled. Tinxi Lake was a very beautiful place in the eastern district of Bright Moon City. It was a huge manor. The main purpose of coming here was to eat and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Tinxi Lake was very famous in Bright Moon City. Similarly, it was also very expensive. Just like its name, Tinxi Lake was a huge lake, and the lake was incomparably beautiful. Around it were many luxurious mansions belonging to powerful families. Beside Tinxi Lake, there were pavilions and pavilions, and within the pavilions, there were many dining tables. Here, one could eat the meat of an extraordinary 8th-grade fierce beast, and one could eat delicious spirit herbs. As long as one had spiritual stones, one would be able to taste anything. Outside the pavilions and pavilions, there were blooming lotuses and colorful fishes. There were rockery in the lake and it looked extremely beautiful. Especially when it was drizzling outside, it was filled with artistic conception. There were many people who came here to eat. Wang Xian and Feng Luan were sitting in front of a table for two. Please be objective. The dishes you ordered will be served in 5 minutes. Please wait a moment. The staff said to Wang Xian and Feng Luan before leaving. Tsk tisk. Wang Xian looked around and realized that many of them were a man and a woman sitting around. Clearly, this was a holy land for dating. It had been a long time since Wang Xian sat down to eat and enjoy the beautiful scenery. This place is pretty good. Feng Luan looked around and said faintly. I think it's pretty good too. It's been a long time since I've been so relaxed. Wang Xian smiled. Make way, make way. Wang Xian and Feng Luan chatted with a smile. Soon, the dishes were served. Not long after, an angry voice was heard, attracting the attention of many people around. The people who came here were all conversing gently. Their voices were very loud, causing many people to look at them with dissatisfaction. Young master, don't be angry. It's my fault. It's my fault. A soft and sorrowful voice was heard. The voice was charming and made people feel comfortable. Young master, don't be angry. Don't be angry. At the side, a middle-aged man was also speaking carefully. The people sitting in the pavilions and pavilions looked over. Suddenly, many people were slightly stunned. It's Miss Qinglian. Oh my god, it's actually Miss Qinglian. The number one beauty of our Bright Moon City, Miss Qinglian. Why is she next to a man? It's really Miss Qinglian. How is this possible? She's actually so lowly next to a young man. A few young men could not help but exclaim in shock, their faces filled with disbelief. They saw their Bright Moon City's goddess holding onto a young man's arm and smiling apologetically. This appearance was no different from stabbing a sword into their chests. This was their goddess. The number one goddess on the Bright Moon City's beauty rankings. Scram. I saw your pure appearance, but I didn't expect you to be so promiscuous on the bed. You're already a fucking virgin. The young man directly pushed Qinglian. Qinglian staggered and almost fell down. She looked at the young man pitifully. Fuck. Seeing this scene, the hearts of the surrounding young men almost bled. This. They didn't expect their goddess. Bang! Kid, I'm warning you. Treat Miss Qinglian better. Otherwise, don't blame me, Tang Zicheng, for not being polite. A young man slammed the table angrily. He looked at Qinglian and said angrily. Not being polite? Who do you think you are? The young man looked over, his eyes extremely cold. You're courting death. In Bright Moon City, no one dares to treat me, Tang Zicheng. Pang! However, before he could finish his words, the middle-aged man beside him started moving. Before Tang Zicheng could react, his body was sent flying into the lake. He spat out a large mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with fear. What? He actually dared to attack in the city. What terrifying strength, he's at least at Transcendent level rank 8. Who is he? The middle-aged man's attack caused the surrounding people to reveal shocked expressions. If you dare to utter another word, I will kill you. The young man stared at Tang Zicheng and said coldly. Tang Zicheng, who had landed in the lake, had a horrified look on his face. His body was trembling slightly. His sudden attack caused everyone around him to fall silent. Wang Xian looked over. His pupils contracted slightly as a hint of coldness flashed across his eyes. Feng Luan saw Wang Xian's expression and looked at the young man. She immediately transmitted her voice, "This seems to be the young man from the 100 Beast City. His identity shouldn't be simple. The third prince of the Star Moon Kingdom." Wang Xian replied to Feng Luan. Feng Luan nodded her head. "Young master, don't be angry. Let me massage your shoulders." Qing Lian's voice sounded from the side. Wang Xian saw the third prince sitting beside them. His face was filled with impatience and his mood was unusually irritable. Qing Lian, who was standing at the back, was nervously massaging her shoulders. The middle-aged man at the side was also carefully serving her. After the fire and ice civet kitten in the 100 Beast City was snatched away by another young man, the third prince was extremely angry. He was extremely angry when he thought of the throne that was right in front of him slipping away. Chapter 1160, Let's see who's going crazy. Fuck, give me some strength. Didn't you eat? In the pavilion, the third prince felt the strength coming from his shoulder and shouted angrily. Yes, it's young master. Qing Lian, who had a perfect figure standing behind him, quickly nodded and replied. Young master, what do you want to eat? The middle-aged man beside him asked softly. Ask them to bring all the delicious food here. The third prince said impatiently. Yes, I'll ask them to bring the food here immediately. The middle-aged man behind him quickly walked to the back. The surrounding people glanced at the third prince with a surprised expression. What kind of identity did this young man have to make Qinglian fawn over him so much? Even a powerhouse was following him so carefully. In less than 2 minutes, all kinds of dishes were served. The third prince sat there and looked at the table full of dishes. Young master, let me feed you. Qinglian said in a very humble and gentle voice. She picked up a piece of meat with her chopsticks and handed it to the third prince. Did I say I want to eat this? Get out of my sight. The third prince looked at the food in front of him and felt a wave of impatience. He stretched out his leg and kicked Qing Lian. Ah! How could a woman like Qing Lian withstand a kick from a transcendent level 8 powerhouse? Even if he did not exert any strength, Qing Lian still fell backward. Her right leg made a cracking sound. Obviously, one of her legs was broken. What? When the surrounding young men saw this scene, their faces were filled with anger. This guy actually hit the goddess of Bright Moon City. Even some of the girls around were filled with anger. A man hitting a woman made all the girls extremely angry. However, after witnessing the strength of the middle-aged man beside the young man and their unbridled behavior, no one dared to speak. Buzz buzz. Wang Xian and Feng Luan looked at this scene coldly and didn't speak. At this moment, a message suddenly came from his communication stone plate. When Wang Xian took it out and read the message, his face instantly turned cold. Something happened. Just as Feng Luan expected, something happened at Dragon Spike. Even though Wang Xian had already prepared the dragon men and the rest, something still happened. Dragon Spike, let's see how long you can hide. You guys aren't going to play until the end, right? Haha, alright. I, the Master of Undercurrent, will play until the end. Even if it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, or even 10 years, I will play with you guys. Huh. Boom. 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 At this moment, a cold roar suddenly sounded in the sky. This roar came from at least tens of kilometers away. When Wang Xian heard this voice, his expression changed slightly and slowly sank. At this moment, at the eastern area of Bright Moon City, the long-haired Master of Undercurrent stood up. His eyes were suffused with a blood-red glow. Around him, a blood fog pervaded the air. That was the body of the 4 dragon thorns. Now, under the terrifying attacks of the insightful void martial artist, it had turned into a blood fog. He floated in the air, his body emitting a crazy aura. At this moment, the citizens of Bright Moon City below were completely stunned. They looked at the figure of the Master of Undercurrent with a face full of shock. Madman, he is indeed a madman. Some people said that the Master of Undercurrent is a madman who is as bloodthirsty as his life. Now, it seems that this is indeed the case. I really didn't expect that after 2 days of silence, the Master of Undercurrent would once again make such a crazy move. The Master of Undercurrent is simply too crazy. This is the result of him wanting to fight the Dragon Spike assassination organization to the death. This time, he killed 5 people from the Dragon Spike. If this goes on for a long time, the Dragon Spike won't be able to withstand it. The Dragon Spike probably wouldn't have thought that they would actually provoke such a troublesome and terrifying enemy. A long time ago, someone said that the Master of Undercurrent is a complete lunatic. It seems that the rumors are true. I'll accompany him to the end. Even if it's 5 or 10 years, this time, even if the Dragon Spike isn't weak, it will still be much more troublesome. All the citizens of Bright Moon City looked at this scene in shock. Compared to Dragon Spike's face slapping on the forum, the Master of Undercurrent's actions were even more violent. He directly caught the person who Dragon Spike was, and in front of everyone, he exploded on the spot. This cruel, bloody, and bloodthirsty action was undoubtedly much crazier than Dragon Spike's face slapping. Even if Dragon Spike was very strong, with such an enemy, he would still be unable to sleep or eat in peace. This was too crazy. With the disappearance of the leader of Undercurrent, everyone in Bright Moon City knew that the battle between the Dragon Spike and the Undercurrent wasn't over yet. It's very difficult for the Dragon Spike to win against a madman. At most, both parties would suffer heavy losses. It's the unwise choice to make an enemy out of such a crazy person. The Dragon Spike is going to be unlucky. Some people thought to themselves. In Tinksy Lake, Feng Luan heard this voice and frowned slightly. She looked at Wang Xian, who had a gloomy expression. Meow. The ice-fire civet cat sensed Wang Xian's gloomy mood and let out a meow. It jumped from Feng Luan's body to his side and stuck out its tongue to lick him. Ha! At this moment, the third prince, who was eating, frowned when he heard a meow. He immediately turned around and stared at the ice-fire civet cat in front of Wang Xian. However, the ice-fire civet cat was exactly the same as an ordinary cat. It was impossible to tell that it was a powerful demonic beast cub. Meow! The fire and ice civet cat saw that he was staring at him with an unfriendly gaze and glared at him fiercely. Beast! When the third prince saw the fire and ice civet cat's appearance and thought of the missing fire and ice civet cub, he roared with a slightly malevolent expression. His call of beast caused everyone around him to be slightly stunned. Xing Yi, bring this little beast to the kitchen and serve it as a dish. The third prince pointed at the fire and ice civet cat and said to the middle-aged man beside him. Yes, 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 young master. The middle-aged man was stunned for a moment. He sighed in his heart. He knew that the fire and ice civet cat had lost its rationality after missing its cub. Now, it was extremely furious when it saw the cat. You actually want to eat such a cute kitten? Before Wang Xian and Feng Luan could react, a girl sitting at the side said with a furious expression. She hit a woman and ate such a cute kitten. This girl couldn't take it anymore. Shut up. The third prince looked at her with his cold eyes. Peng, don't be too arrogant. I know you're strong, but this is Bright Moon City. You can't be so unbridled. The young man sitting across from the girl saw his lover being berated and stood up angrily. That's right, this is Bright Moon City. It's not a place where you can be arrogant. Don't think that just because you have some strength, you dare to be unbridled here. You have no respect for the law. That's right. Bright Moon City isn't a place where you can do whatever you want. After the young man finished speaking, a few more people spoke up. They had offended the crowd. They had beaten and scolded the beauty who ranked first on the beauty list of Bright Moon City. And now, they were going to eat another cute kitten. They directly scolded the others when they spoke rudely. His actions had undoubtedly angered everyone around him. No one who could come to Tinksy Lake had a weak status. If it weren't for the powerful middle-aged man beside him, they wouldn't have been able to hold themselves back from attacking long ago. However, his actions had infuriated everyone around him. They stood up and criticized him. Wang Xian looked at the third prince with a cold glint in his eyes. Back in the City of Beasts, the third prince had wanted to snatch the Frostfire civet cubs and was even injured under his attack. Now, he was so arrogant and even wanted to turn the Frostfire civet cubs into vegetables. Wang Xian lowered his head slowly. A hint of madness flashed in his eyes. The undercurrent master is crazy? Let's see who is crazier. Chapter 1161, Let's see who goes crazy. Bright Moon City, isn't it that I can do whatever I want? In the pavilion of Tinksy Lake, the third prince looked at the people around him who stood up and angrily criticized him. He suddenly laughed. He smiled and swept his gaze across everyone with a ferocious expression. Let me tell you, in Bright Moon City, I can do whatever I want. I'm warning you, do you believe that I will kill all of you? He swept his gaze over everyone with some arrogance as he roared arrogantly. He indeed had the capital and qualifications to do so. As the third prince of Starmoon Kingdom, the entire Starmoon Kingdom belonged to their royal family. Bright Moon City also belonged to their family. In Bright Moon City, not to mention how many people he had killed, even if he had killed hundreds or thousands of people, no one would be able to do anything to him. Arrogant, simply arrogant to the extreme. I don't believe that you, even in Bright Moon City, don't care about the rules of Starmoon Kingdom. If you dare to be presumptuous again, even if you have a great background, you won't be able to save yourself. When the crowd saw his arrogant appearance, they became even more furious. This was too arrogant. He actually dared to say that he could do whatever he wanted in Bright Moon City. Even if your father was a void interpretation expert, he couldn't be so arrogant, right? Even if your father was the city lord, he still had to take into consideration. After all, this was Bright Moon City, Star Moon Kingdom, and not your world. Shut up. If you dare to utter another word of nonsense in front of the third prince's palace, all of you, including your family members, will die. At this moment, the aura of the middle-aged man trembled. In an instant, the aura of a rank 9 transcendent enveloped everyone around him. What? What a terrifying aura! Third prince? Third prince? How can this be, he? Third prince? When everyone heard the middle-aged man's words and felt his aura, their faces changed drastically and turned pale. Their eyes widened, and they were filled with disbelief. Traces of cold sweat appeared on their foreheads. Everyone had terrified expressions on their faces as they stared blankly at the third prince. A bunch of lowly peasants. They're really courting death. The third prince looked at the surrounding people's expressions and raised his head in disdain as he spoke arrogantly. Your Highness, it's our fault. We were blind. We beg you to let us off. A young man's face was extremely pale. With a plop, he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy loudly. Plop! Plop! Following that, the sounds of kneeling could be heard. Everyone's faces were extremely pale. They had never imagined that this young man would actually be a prince. This was a prince. In this world where the strong ruled, a single word from the royal family of Starmoon Kingdom could decide the life and death of countless people. Although they were considered pretty good in Bright Moon City, as long as the third prince said a word, they would be immediately killed, and even their families would be destroyed. They finally understood why he was so arrogant, daring to say that he could do whatever he wanted in Bright Moon City. Indeed, Bright Moon City was like the back garden of the royal family. The third prince was equivalent to their young master. Everyone's faces were pale as they begged for mercy in fear. All of you, scram! I'm so annoyed to see all of you. The third prince said directly with a face full of impatience. Yes, yes. Everyone in the surroundings heaved a sigh of relief and quickly stood up one by one. I said get lost, who told you to stand up? At this moment, the third prince's voice suddenly rang out. Upon hearing his words, everyone's expression changed slightly. Get lost. They were rolling out instead of walking out. Yes, yes. They didn't dare to resist at all. All of them lowered their heads and rolled out. It was the same even for the girls. Why aren't you sending this damn beast to the kitchen? Make a dish for me. At this moment, the third prince turned his head and saw Wang Xian and Feng Luan still sitting there. He shouted coldly with a sullen face. Let's go back. Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan expressionlessly and said to her. All right. Feng Luan nodded her head and picked up the ice fire civet cat. The two of them ignored the third prince. You're courting death. When the third prince saw that Wang Xian and Feng Luan were ignoring him, his eyes were filled with killing intent. He moved his arm and a golden sword ray slashed towards them. Humph! Feng Luan snorted coldly and the sword ray that was attacking them collapsed in the air. Your Highness, be careful. When the middle-aged man saw this scene, his expression changed drastically. He immediately stood in front of the third prince and stared at Feng Luan with a grave expression. The third prince's expression changed slightly as well. He was also extremely surprised when Feng Luan's cold snort broke his attack. After all, he was the third prince and had a good education. The reason why he was in a bad mood these few days was mainly because the throne that he had obtained had slipped away from his eyes. This made him extremely unwilling. He stared at Feng Luan in bewilderment. Your Highness, I'm kind enough to remind you not to be too arrogant. If you provoke too many people, you might be hired by assassins to assassinate you. Wang Xian reminded the third prince indifferently from the side. Assassinate me? Who has the guts to do so? Hee, undercurrent? Or is it that dragon spike? It's just a small dragon spike. It won't take long for it to be destroyed. When the third prince heard Wang Xian's words, his eyes were extremely cold. He narrowed his eyes and stared at them. I don't know who you are. How dare you disrespect me? We are not from your Star Moon Kingdom, hee. Feng Luan gave him an indifferent glance and walked out directly. Wang Xian followed by the side. He gave the third prince a deep look and followed by the side. Damn it, Xing Yi. Investigate the identities of these two people for me. Tonight, kidnap them and bring them here. I want to play with them properly. The third prince saw that Feng Luan and Wang Xian didn't put him in their eyes at all. He growled in a low and cold voice. It's your Highness, the third prince. These two people are from other kingdoms and are passing by Bright Moon City. However, they are in our territory. It's easy to kill them. If they dare to offend the third prince, they will die. The middle-aged man hurriedly replied. HMPH, that woman should have the strength of a half-step void interpretation realm expert. I really didn't expect that. I haven't tasted a half-step void interpretation realm woman before. Today, I will torture them properly. As the third prince spoke, he licked his tongue. His body was filled with unbridled recklessness. What are you thinking about? How is the loss of the dragon spike? Walking out of the pavilion lake, Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian who was holding an umbrella for her and asked softly. I lost 4 spies. I'm thinking that the master of undercurrent is really crazy. Also, that city lord's mansion wants to destroy our dragon spike. Wang Xian said faintly. Feng Luan nodded her head slowly. So I've decided that since the master of undercurrent is so crazy, I'll accompany him and let them see who is crazier. Chapter 1162, Kill the Prince. Let's see who's crazier. In terms of craziness, Wang Xian had never been afraid of anyone. What do you want? Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian and stared at him with a twinkle in her eyes. Wang Xian smiled. Since you want to play, let's play a bigger game. The master of Undercurrent was crazy. Since the Castellan's residents wanted to destroy the dragon spike, he didn't have to worry about anything else. Since Starmoon Kingdom did not allow him to use the dragon spike, there was no need to be polite with the dragon spike. He would take it. The third prince would kill him. Starmoon Kingdom was very strong and had more than 20 insightful void martial artists. However, his dragon spike had more than 170 dragon spikes. Even if he were to play along with them, it would give Starmoon Kingdom a headache and even cause them heavy losses. They could not afford to play, but Wang Xian could. This time, he was going to assassinate a prince and warn Starmoon Kingdom. If they dared to deal with the dragon spike would dare to deal with them as well. Now that the dragon spike was in the dark, no one knew where their lair was. As long as they avoided powerhouses above the second level of the void interpretation stage, they would be unafraid of anyone. That's good too. Let's not stay in that place. Let's go somewhere else. Feng Luan had already guessed what Wang Xian wanted to do. She nodded her head slowly and smiled at him. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head. Next, it was time for Bright Moon City to shake. It was not only Bright Moon City that was shaken. Soon after, the entire Starmoon Kingdom would be shaken as well. The two of them changed their appearance and found a new restaurant. Dragon King. Dragon King. Half an hour later, Long Yi and Ao Yao rushed over and greeted Wang Xian respectfully. Long Yi, inform all the employers that the Dragon Spike will not carry out today's mission for the time being. It's the Dragon King. Long Yi was slightly puzzled but he still nodded his head. Ao Yao, summon all the strange demons and assassinate the third prince of Starmoon Kingdom tonight. Go and check the residence of the third prince and all the information. Wang Xian looked at Ao Yao and said slowly. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao nodded, and her eyes revealed a cold glint. The dragon spike had been targeted twice, and one strange demon had been killed. As the leader of the strange demons, Ao Yao's heart was already burning with anger. Tell all the spies to be careful. We will not accept the mission until the matter is over. Wang Xian told Long Yi again. Now that the mayor's mansion and the Undercurrent Assassin organization were going all out to deal with the Dragon Spike, it was extremely difficult for the Dragon Spike to gain a foothold in Bright Moon City. Furthermore, there was a possibility of encountering a trap every time he received a commission. Therefore, Wang Xian could only suspend the assassination mission of the Dragon Spike. He had to defeat Bright Moon City and Starmoon Kingdom first. It's the Dragon King. Let's send out our orders immediately. Long Yi nodded and left the restaurant carefully. He began to deal with the matter of the Dragon Spike. Now, 4 spies had been killed directly. Including the previous one, there were only 3 spies of the Dragon Spike. He needed to find some more spies. In addition, he needed to inform the clients who had issued the mission that the completion of the mission would be delayed. Wang Xian watched Long Yi leave with a contemplative look on his face. This was a risky move. Once the assassination of the third prince was successful, it was very likely that the Starmoon Kingdom would be enraged. As long as he could withstand the attacks of the Starmoon Kingdom, the Dragon Spike could be considered to have truly established a foothold in the Starmoon Kingdom. Ao Yao, split 20 of the strange demons in Bright Moon City and transfer 80 of them from the Dragon Palace to the towns below the Starmoon Kingdom. Wait for my orders. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he spoke to Ao Yao. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao nodded. The third prince has the protection of the void interpretation level armor. I have the poison developed by the 8-limbed dragon. It should be able to be used. Also, go and check out the residence of the third prince. Bring his body back tonight. Yes. Watching Ao Yao leave, Wang Xian revealed a contemplative look on his face. Then, he smiled. It all depended on tonight. What? Dragon Spike announced the suspension of tonight's mission? What's going on? What the fuck? Damn. 2 days ago, Dragon Spike said that he wouldn't be late for the next mission. If he were to do this today, he would be slapping himself in the face. It should be because the Undercurrent Master has put too much pressure on Dragon Spike. Today, the Undercurrent Master killed 4 people from Dragon Spike. Now, the 2 major assassin organizations are going back and forth. If you slap me in the face, I'll slap you in the face. When it was almost nighttime, suddenly, in the Bright Moon City Forum, the news of Dragon Spike announcing the suspension of the mission was exposed. This news caused everyone's faces to reveal a stunned expression, and it quickly spread. Countless people in Bright Moon City were discussing this matter. Originally, 2 days ago, Dragon Spike had ruthlessly slapped the Master of Undercurrent, causing the Undercurrent Assassin organization to be unable to do anything to Dragon Spike. But today, the Master of Undercurrent had once again forcefully counterattacked, slapping Dragon Spike in the face. Long CI had no choice but to announce the suspension of the mission. The exchange of attacks made everyone who was watching the show feel very satisfied. If it could be said that 2 days ago, everyone thought that Undercurrent was inferior to Long CI, then today, the situation had once again developed, and Long CI was completely at a disadvantage. Even the mission had been suspended. One could imagine how big a blow this was to Long CI. This Dragon Spike knows how to advance and retreat. It's a tough opponent. In the City Lord's mansion, City Lord Lu looked at the message sent from the forum. He frowned slightly and looked at the Master of Undercurrent. Today, they had prepared 2 methods to deal with the Dragon Spike. One was to target the hidden lines of the Dragon Spike and use the City Protection Array to monitor and search for the hidden lines of the Dragon Spike. The second was to issue a mission. When the time came, the Master of Undercurrent would directly hide around the assassinated person and wait for the arrival of the Dragon Spike assassin. They would then directly wait for the arrival of the Dragon Spike assassin. Now that the Dragon Spike had cancelled the mission, they could no longer carry out the second mission. Then we'll accompany them slowly. The power of the indestructible Dragon Spike. I, the Master of Undercurrent, am a man in vain. Huh. The Master of Undercurrent sat there, drank a mouthful of wine, and laughed loudly. He seemed to be talking about a very ordinary matter. Madman. City Lord Lu glanced at him and thought to himself. However, a smile appeared on his face. If we work together, it'll be easy for us to destroy the Dragon Spike. He gently raised the wine cup beside him and gestured to the Master of Undercurrent. Have you found out the information about those 2? In Bright Moon City, in an extremely luxurious manner, guards were patrolling around the manor. In the hall of the manor, the 3rd prince sat in the middle and asked the middle-aged man beside him with a solemn face. Beside him, 2 half-step void interpretation experts were sitting around him, guarding his safety. Your Highness, the 3rd prince, we're still investigating. We're still investigating. I've already asked the city guards to investigate, but those 2 people seem to be afraid of your revenge after they found out your identity, so they've hidden themselves. But you don't have to worry, 3rd prince. We'll find you very soon. Very soon. The middle-aged man hurriedly said. Chapter 1163, Killed the Prince. It's already night time. How much longer do we have to wait? The 3rd prince looked at the middle-aged man coldly. The middle-aged man lowered his head and revealed a bitter smile. 3rd prince, we have already used all the power we can. We will definitely be able to bring those 2 people to you. I want to see the figures of those 2 people today. The 3rd prince snorted coldly. His face revealed a cold expression as he fiercely picked up the wine on the table and drank a cup. Get ready. We will go back tomorrow. The 3rd prince continued to speak to the middle-aged man. Yes, yes. The middle-aged man at the side hurriedly nodded and replied. He slightly let out a sigh of relief. Night slowly arrived. Many people in Bright Moon City let out a sigh of relief. This was because the Dragon Spike had already announced that the mission was temporarily suspended. Those who had issued the mission were slightly dissatisfied. The mission that they had mentioned 2 days ago would not be late, and it was happening today. This made them very unhappy. They felt that the Dragon Spike was not as powerful as they had imagined. Compared to the night in Bright Moon City, the forum was much livelier. All of them were talking about the Dragon Spike and the undercurrent. After a few days of competition, the attacks were extremely shocking. Especially the 2 violent attacks of the Undercurrent Lord, which shocked everyone. The night arrived. Because of the continuous rain, the night was even more profound. Looking at the starry sky and the distance, it was like a devil devouring people. The night was dark and the wind was high. It was a night of killing. In the center of Bright Moon City, in a luxurious villa. This manor was incomparably luxurious, far surpassing the manners of the great clans of Bright Moon City. This was the manor of the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom. The entire manor was extremely large, and city guards patrolled the surroundings. A level 9 transcendent array guarded the entire manor. And within the manor, there were still dozens of experts guarding a courtyard. Under the layers of protection, unless an expert at the Profound Void tier arrived, anyone below the Profound Void tier would be swiftly killed. We don't know when the prince inside will leave. This way, we won't have to guard the surroundings day and night. Shoo, shut up. If the adults inside hear you, be careful of your dog life. Hee hee, Captain, I'm just complaining. It doesn't make any difference whether we guard or not. Does anyone else dare to assassinate the prince? It's true that no one dares, but we must do our job well. Don't be like Little Li Z, who rammed into the prince and was directly killed. Little Li Z is indeed unlucky. This matter shouldn't be his fault, but he was killed directly. Sigh. Around the manor, guards patrolled the surroundings. A few guards were chatting softly. The group of people patrolling was not that strict. This was the manor of the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom. Who dared to enter? Furthermore, whoever dared to assassinate a member of the royal family was simply courting death. Not only were the city guards outside, but the patrol wasn't that strict inside the manor as well. That was because no one dared to enter this place. It's not as strict as I imagined. There are 2 half-step void interpretation experts resting in the 2 rooms over there. Light rain dripped down from the sky, landing on the roofs and the ground. At this moment, if there was an expert with a powerful eye bloodline technique here, they would see the shocking scene in the sky. 20 strange demonic beasts floated in the sky. Half of the demonic beasts in the center were white and half were black. Black and white merged perfectly, making them extremely demonic. The surrounding demonic beasts with white figures were completely hidden in the darkness. Don't disturb the 2 half-step void interpretation experts. Kill everyone else. You and I will enter the central room. Ao Yao's voice entered the ears of every strange demon. Do it. When he finished saying these 2 words, 20 figures quickly flew down. They were completely silent. If one looked carefully, they would discover that even raindrops passed through their bodies. Pooh, pooh, pooh. In less than 10 seconds, the dozen or so guards that were patrolling outside disappeared. Their corpses were stored in the interspatial ring. Each of these guards was at least at rank 7. There were 2 rank 9 transcendents among them. When the dozen or so guards disappeared without a trace, Ao Yao and a strange demon entered the room in the center. In the room, there was a huge, soft bed. On the bed, the 3rd prince was lying in the center. The strange demon and the others easily entered the room. The black and white strange demon's eyes fell on the 3rd prince. Ao Yao raised his eyebrows and looked at the armor beside the bed. His eyes revealed a trace of mockery. He looked at the strange demon beside him. His figure moved and easily came to the third prince's side. He gently touched his arm. Death had arrived. There was no reaction at all. Even the third prince did not know how he died. Sleeping in eternal sleep was also a kind of painless death. Things had far exceeded Ao Yao and the others' expectations. It was too easy. After the corpse was put away, Ao Yao's eyes flickered as he looked at the two rooms on his left and right. There, two half-step void interpretation experts were standing on both sides. His body moved as darkness invaded and light flashed for judgment. "Let's go." A minute later, Ao Yao's voice was heard by every strange demon. The group of them moved and flew quickly toward the place where Wang Xian was staying. "Dragon King, the mission has been completed." 3 minutes later, Ao Yao's figure appeared in Wang Xian's room and reported respectfully. "So fast?" Upon seeing Ao Yao and the rest return, Wang Xian was astonished. They are too confident and careless. Although their strength is not bad, their defense is too weak. As Ao Yao spoke, she threw the third prince's corpse on the ground. "Is that so?" A smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. Looking at the corpse on the ground, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. It seems that the third prince and the rest are too arrogant. They think that they will be 100% safe in their own country. Wang Xian looked at the familiar corpse. During the day, he was extremely arrogant and wanted to kill others. However, he ended up lying here at night. Hang his corpse at the east gate. I want to give everyone in Bright Moon City a surprise. Also, I want to give Star Moon Kingdom a warning. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with a cold glint. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao nodded and kept the corpse. Stick this next to him. Wang Xian gave Ao Yao a piece of red paper that symbolized the dragon spike. Yes. Ao Yao took it and her figure disappeared quickly. She flew toward the east gate. Bright Moon City will be in an uproar tomorrow. Let me show you the madness of the dragon spike. Wang Xian looked at the drizzle outside and said with a smile. Chapter 1164, Kill the Prince. Boom! Walala! It was 5 o'clock in the morning, but today's dawn was much later than usual. The light rain had turned into a heavy downpour. The heavy rain fell from the sky, causing the dawn to arrive later today. The streets that were originally crowded at 5 o'clock were now empty. The heavy rain was when the ocean beasts were active. Usually, in this kind of weather, few mercenary groups went out to do missions. The East Gate was much calmer than before. Brothers, it's raining heavily today, so we won't go out of the city. Have a good rest for a day. Okay boss, then let's go to the Carpe house today and have a good time. You brat, you're really young and impetuous. Don't use up all your strength to kill beasts. Don't worry boss, my body is very powerful. In a mercenary group base not far away from the East Gate, a group of men's laughter was heard at 5 or 6 o'clock. An old man looked at the members of the mercenary group who were playing around and took out his communication stone plate, ready to look at the latest information. What's the situation? Suddenly, the old man's eyes focused. He looked at a message on the Bright Moon City forum in astonishment. The hottest topics these 2 days were undoubtedly Undercurrent and Dragon Spike. Both Undercurrent and Dragon Spike had published information on the forum. Therefore, the whole Bright Moon City knew the names of Undercurrent and Dragon Spike. The old man stared at the information released by the Dragon Spike Assassin Organization on the communication stone plate. He opened it and saw only one line of words. Go to the East Gate, there's a surprise. 7 words, very simple 7 words, made the old man's face full of surprise. Hey, little bear, let's go to the city gate and have a look. The old man thought for a moment, then shouted to a middle-aged man beside him. Uncle Zhang, what's the situation? The middle-aged man who was talking to a few young men looked at the old man with confusion. The Dragon Assassin organization has directly announced on the forum that they are going to the East Gate. There's a surprise. Let's go and take a look. The old man said with some curiosity. Going to the East Gate? There's a surprise. Sent by the Dragon Assassin organization. What is the Dragon Assassin organization doing now? The East Gate? When Dragon Spike first came to Bright Moon City, he hung the corpses of the Undercurrent Master's son and the Undercurrent Ace Assassin at the East Gate. Could it be? In an instant, a few members of the mercenary group guessed in surprise. Let's go and take a look, Uncle Jean. The middle-aged man said to the old man with a puzzled face and walked outside. They were very close to the East Gate. When they walked out of the house, the sound of heavy rain came from outside. However, the heavy rain didn't affect them very much. The group of people walked out curiously. When they walked out, they found that there were still many people walking toward the East Gate. Obviously, they had also seen the message that Dragon Spike had posted on the forum. Oh my god, this is crazy. The sky is falling. Dragon Spike and the others are crazy. What is Dragon Spike doing? Is this true? This is simply too crazy. Oh my god, are they going against the heavens? The prince, the third prince of Star Moon Kingdom. I really can't believe it. How dare Dragon Spike? How dare he? When the group arrived at the East Gate, they heard a shocked and unbelievable voice coming from the front. They looked forward in astonishment. What's that? There's a corpse on it. They looked up and widened their eyes. It was not out of their expectations that there was a corpse on the city wall. Besides a corpse, there was a big red piece of paper beside it. On the paper, there were a few lines of words. Corpse, the third prince of Star Moon Kingdom. The Dragon Spike had already arrived at Bright Moon City, and darkness had already covered it. Anyone who tried to stop it would be the Dragon Spike's enemy. City Lord Manor, you have worked together with Undercurrent to use the City Protection Array to monitor and deal with us, the Dragon Spike. Since that's the case, I'll give you a great gift. Today, the corpse of the third prince of Star Moon Kingdom will be presented. If the City Lord Manor and Star Moon Kingdom obstruct the Dragon Spike's footsteps, we will kill. 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 6 lines of words were written on a red piece of paper. Under the heavy rain, the ink had already scattered. However, these words were like thick blood on the red paper under the rain, causing one's heart to palpitate. This. Seeing the 6 lines of words, the group was completely stunned. How is this possible? Third prince, that corpse is the third prince. This is impossible, this is impossible. How can the Dragon Spike be so crazy? A terrifying expression appeared on the faces of the group of people. The third prince was the son of the king of Star Moon Kingdom, the son of the strongest person in the kingdom. It was not an exaggeration to say that if the third prince wanted them to die, they would have to die. Moreover, they understood the third prince a little. He wasn't the most outstanding among the princes, but he was still quite powerful. He was one of the most advantageous competitors for the throne. Yet, he actually died in Bright Moon City, and was actually assassinated by the Dragon's Thorn. His corpse was even hung on the city wall. There were also a few words that threatened the City Lord's estate and even Star Moon Kingdom. Threatening the City Lord's estate and Star Moon Kingdom? Wasn't this too fucking crazy? Is this Dragon Spike going to turn the sky upside down? He actually dares to do such a terrifying thing. Everyone who had arrived felt their heads go numb as they looked at the corpse and the words. The Dragon Spike's actions this time could no longer be described as arrogant. He was a complete lunatic, a naked lunatic. Otherwise, how could he dare to do such a thing? Was he trying to make Star Moon Kingdom an enemy? Was he trying to make Star Moon Kingdom angry? He still dared to be so unbridled in Star Moon Kingdom's territory. He was simply a madman. The master of Undercurrent was called a madman, but in the past few decades, the Undercurrent Assassin organization had not dared to assassinate Star Moon Kingdom's officials. Although the Master of Undercurrent was wild and unbridled, he would not offend Star Moon Kingdom. However, this dragon spike had directly killed the prince and threatened Star Moon Kingdom. This was going against the heavens. This was no longer something that a madman could describe, but madness. A portion of people did not dare to believe it. Boom boom. Boom boom. At this moment, two terrifying figures flew over. City Lord Lu and the general of the Bright Moon Army flew over. When they heard the news, they were a little stunned. They didn't dare to believe it at first. They dared to kill their prince. They were simply courting death. How could someone dare? But when they couldn't contact the prince, they immediately panicked. Your Highness, the third prince. City Lord Lu, who was flying over, had an extremely unsightly expression. He looked at the corpse on the city wall. When he saw that familiar figure, his eyes slowly reddened as he roared. Third Prince, Your Highness. The Bright Moon Army general at the side also had a face full of shock as he roared loudly. Wang! Everyone's minds jolted. It really was the prince. Chapter 1165, Sacred Killing Token. Rumble. The torrential rain poured down as City Lord Lu and the Bright Moon Army general floated in front of the city wall. Around them, the city guards widened their eyes in shock as they watched this scene. Below them, the tens of thousands of people who had rushed over after hearing the news were filled with fear. It was really the prince. It was really the third prince. The dragon spike actually dared to assassinate the prince. This caused the people who still had a trace of uncertainty in their hearts to stare blankly. The Dragon Spike Assassin Organization, you all deserve to die 10,000 deaths. City Lord Lu looked at the third prince's corpse in a daze. Looking at the words on the red paper beside him, his eyes turned red. No matter what, he would have thought that the dragon spike would actually dare to be so arrogant and crazy. Assassinating a prince of a country, this sort of thing was too crazy. He hadn't thought of it at all. Picking up the third prince's corpse, City Lord Lu's ghastly voice resounded throughout Bright Moon City. Assassinating a prince of a country was no longer a slap to the face of the City Lord's estate, but an enemy of Star Moon Kingdom. From today onwards, Bright Moon City will implement a curfew. After tonight, no one is allowed to leave the city, no one is allowed to come out. The Bright Moon Army general's expression was extremely ugly. The third prince had died in their Bright Moon City. As the two people in charge of Bright Moon City, they had to bear some responsibility. At the very least, they had to destroy this dragon spike to make up for their mistake. Go! City Lord Lu's face was gloomy as he carried the third prince's corpse. The red paper beside him was immediately taken back. His body moved and he flew towards the City Lord's mansion. The Bright Moon Army general nodded solemnly and followed closely behind. They wanted to report this matter to the king. Whoosh! My God, the dragon spike isn't just going to make an enemy out of Undercurrent, it's going to make an enemy out of the entire Star Moon Kingdom. What benefits does the dragon spike have in doing this? Don't tell me they want to go head-to-head with the royal family of our country. The red piece of paper from the dragon spike says that Undercurrent and the City Lord's mansion are working together to deal with them. That's why they're making such a crazy move. Undercurrent and the City Lord's mansion are working together? Is this possible? Since the dragon spike has said it, then it's very possible. After City Lord Lu and the Bright Moon Army general left, the East Gate instantly erupted into an uproar. Everyone stood in the heavy rain and sighed slightly. Some of them had contemplative expressions on their faces. What Dragon Spike said about the Undercurrent joining forces with the City Lord's residence might be true. Otherwise, Dragon Spike wouldn't have done such an extreme action. Assassinating the third prince, he would have to bear the revenge of the entire Star Moon Kingdom. No matter what, Dragon Spike is really too crazy. An old man slowly sighed. The master of Undercurrent was crazy? But the dragon spike was crazy? After today, no matter what happens to the dragon spike, it will definitely leave a mark in the history of Star Moon Kingdom. As some people spoke, they began to return. It was too shocking. The news of the dragon spike assassinating the third prince spread throughout the entire Bright Moon City in less than 10 minutes. Everyone's heart skipped a beat as they waited for the City Lord's mansion and Star Moon Kingdom's reaction. This matter had blown up so much that it was going to alarm the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom. Even the king had to come personally. After all, the third prince was the king's son. The atmosphere in the entire Bright Moon City had undergone a huge change. On the streets, the city guards weren't the only ones patrolling. There were also soldiers from the Bright Moon Army. The entire Bright Moon City was filled with a murderous aura. Wang Xian watched this scene with a smile on his face. He followed the flow of people and walked towards the restaurant. The most dangerous time is also the safest time. The people from Ao Yao's sect have completed all the tasks they received yesterday. Wang Xian returned to the restaurant and said to Ao Yao with a smile on his face. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao nodded and disappeared immediately. Star Moon King's city, in the huge palace. Your Majesty, you must avenge San-Er. That assassin organization actually dared to kill San-Er. You must avenge San-Er. San-Er is so miserable. In the Star Moon King Palace, a graceful and elegant woman was kneeling in front of a middle-aged man. Her eyes were red and swollen as she cried. The middle-aged man was dressed in a dragon robe as he sat on the dragon throne. At this moment, the Star Moon King's expression was extremely gloomy. Even though he had over 100 children under him, his third son was one of the more outstanding children. Now, he was actually assassinated by an assassin organization. This was simply a great humiliation to the Star Moon Kingdom. To a king like him, this was a blatant slap in the face. My beloved concubine, don't worry. I will repay third son's life to him. That assassin organization, I will make sure that not even a chicken or dog is left alive. Star Moon King's eyes revealed a cold glint, and a faint chill gushed out from his surroundings. Xian Xingguanghan, Gu Dongfeng, Ling Tiankai, and Xiao Wei, the four beloved ministers, present themselves. As he spoke, he held a writing brush and danced in the imperial edict. One by one, sharp words with a strong killing intent condensed on the imperial edict. The last word, killing intent, soared to the sky. Ordinary people holding the imperial edict were even directly killed by the killing intent on the imperial edict. It's the king. The eunuch at the side hurriedly responded and quickly walked out. In less than 10 minutes, four terrifying figures quickly rushed toward the palace. Four generals, four insightful emptiness realm experts. There were only 7 insightful emptiness realm experts in the imperial city, and 4 of them had already been dispatched. Receive the sacred killing order. For ministers, immediately head to Bright Moon City and destroy the Dragon Assassin organization to avenge my third son. Anyone related to the Dragon Assassin organization, kill. I want this assassin organization to leave no one alive. In the Star Moon King Palace, the Star Moon King waved his arm. An imperial decree filled with killing intent fell into the hands of an old man. The sacred killing order was issued. The strongest killing order in the Star Moon Kingdom. Once such a killing order was issued, all 9 clans would be exterminated. Not even a chicken or dog would be spared. Since the establishment of the Star Moon Kingdom, the sacred killing order had only been issued a few times. This was because in the Star Moon Kingdom, unless it was treason, the king would not issue such a sacred killing order. However, today, the third prince had been killed. This action was even more serious than treason. This was a provocation to the Star Moon royal family and a contempt for the royal authority. The 4 insightful Void Realm experts led the sacred killing order and quickly flew toward Bright Moon City. At the same time, in Bright Moon City, City Lord Liu and the general of the Bright Moon Army were slightly shocked when they received the news from the palace. Seal Bright Moon City. No one is allowed to leave the city. Anyone who dares to leave the city will be attacked. Anyone who disobeys will be killed. City Lord Lu shouted softly and gave another order. Bright Moon Army, stand by. Activate the formation of Bright Moon City. Activate Level 1 battle preparations. During this period, anyone who makes a mistake will be punished tenfold. The Bright Moon Army general also loudly ordered his subordinates beside him. For insightful emptiness realm experts arrived with the holy killing order. The dragon spike must be destroyed. Chapter 1166, The Sacred Killing Order arrived. Bright Moon City will be sealed. No one is allowed to leave the city. Anyone who dares to leave the city will be locked up. Anyone who disobeys will be killed. Bright Moon Army, stand by. Activate the formation of Bright Moon City. Activate Level 1 battle preparations. During this period, anyone who makes a mistake will be punished tenfold. The morning had not yet passed, and the entire Bright Moon City was in an uproar. Numerous guards and soldiers of the Bright Moon Army flew in the sky of Bright Moon City and announced to everyone. Below, everyone in Bright Moon City was stunned. What? They actually closed the city gates? What are the city lord and general trying to do? They want to completely seal Bright Moon City. To be so strict and directly seal the entire city, it seems that the Star Moon Kingdom has issued an order. Everyone below revealed shocked expressions. Sealing the city gates was a major matter that would only be done when Bright Moon City encountered a huge crisis. However, now that the city gates were sealed, no one was allowed to enter or leave. Everyone knew that Star Moon Kingdom was furious. They wanted to seal off the entire city, preparing to take action against the Dragon Assassin organization in the city. From this series of actions, one could tell how furious Star Moon Kingdom was. It's best to keep a low profile for the next few days. Take advantage of the incident with the Dragon Assassin organization and stay in the city. Do not offend the city guards and soldiers at this time. Otherwise, there is a high possibility of killing them on the spot. When the warning voices of the city guards and soldiers rang out in every corner, the entire Bright Moon City was clearly much quieter. Even the clamoring voices were gone, and the shouting voices were also much quieter. There was only the sound of torrential rain pouring down. Obviously, in the face of the Star Moon King's fury, everyone kept a much lower profile. This dragon spike is going to be in trouble. Some people said slowly. With such a terrifying stance, the crisis of the dragon spike was about to arrive. Since the dragon spike has already taken action, there's no need for peace in this city. However, on the third floor of the restaurant, Wang Xian stood in front of the window and watched the soldiers fly past. He smiled when he saw the citizens talking in low voices. He picked up the teacup in his hand gently. His eyes were sparkling. Ah! At this moment, a scream of horror was heard in a restaurant as though it was a bolt from the blue. Murder! Murder! The scream of horror was extremely conspicuous at this moment. On the second floor of the restaurant, more than a dozen customers looked at the middle-aged man who was lying on the ground in horror. That red note. It's the dragon spike. Oh my god, the dragon spike is actually carrying out an assassination at this time. How did he die? I didn't see anything just now, how did he die? Shocked voices rang out one after another. Everyone looked at the middle-aged man lying on the ground in disbelief, looking at the bright red paper. At this time, the city gates were closed and the formation was fully activated, yet the dragon spike was still carrying out an assassination. Could he not be so fucking arrogant and crazy? He's killing people. The dragon spike is carrying out an assassination. However, at the same time, the entire Bright Moon City was filled with exclamations. At this moment, everyone was stunned. This was in broad daylight. You're carrying out an assassination mission in broad daylight? Not only were the citizens of Bright Moon City stunned, Even the city guards and soldiers were dumbfounded. Was there a need to slap their faces like this? To assassinate them in broad daylight? Furthermore, the dragon spike had succeeded. This provocation, this is a blatant provocation. Assassins walk in the darkness, but today, the city has just been sealed, and the dragon spike immediately assassinated them. This is contempt for the Star Moon Kingdom. This is against the Star Moon Kingdom, this. A city guard captain stood beside the corpse of an extraordinary rank 9 expert, his body trembling as his pupils constricted. The surrounding soldiers and city guards were also slightly silent. They felt that Star Moon Kingdom had encountered a ruthless person this time. If they could not destroy this dragon spike, then the dragon spike would rule the entire underground of Star Moon Kingdom in the future. Immediately report this matter to the city lord and general. Without the slightest hesitation, the group immediately reported this matter to the higher-ups. This matter wasn't something they could handle. The strength of the dragon spike and their madness had already exceeded their expectations. Boom! 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 Not long after, 2 figures floated in the sky, their cold gazes sweeping downwards, their faces incomparably gloomy. This dragon spike. City Lord Lu stood there, his expression so gloomy that it was almost dripping blood. The city protection surveillance array did not detect any traces of the dragon spike's assassination. A transcendent level 9 expert was directly assassinated during the day. In a short span of 10 minutes, a total of more than 150 people died. Such a terrifying speed and terrifying assassination made even them feel a little apprehensive. Let's wait for Lord Xingguang and the others to arrive. This dragon spike is not something we can deal with. The general of the Bright Moon Army said with a solemn expression. Who? City Lord Lu let out a breath and nodded slowly. City Lord Lu had learned of the dragon spike's actions in East Sea City back then. The dragon spike had left the city lord helpless. In Bright Moon City, they didn't have any good ideas either. They could only wait for the people of the Imperial City to arrive. The figures of the 2 disappeared and weakly returned to the city lord's manor. The entire Bright Moon City fell silent once more. Everyone was shocked as they discussed the Dragon Spike Assassin organization. The assassination during the day had shocked everyone with the strength of the Dragon Spike. During the day, they killed people on the streets. The city guards and soldiers were helpless, and the city lord and general didn't make a move. Obviously, they had no way to deal with the Dragon Spike. The orders to seal the city and make mistakes in the morning were a joke to the Dragon Spike. Hee hee. Wang Xian sat in the restaurant. He had the mentality of watching the situation unfold with a smile. He looked at the changes in Bright Moon City and a smile appeared on his face. The current strange demons had evolved into the light spike. Their strongest time was not at night, but during the day. Only by assassinating them during the day could they truly display the full strength of the Dragon Spike. I wonder when the royal family will be able to arrive. Wang Xian mumbled. The strange demons that were sent out had already rushed towards the towns in Star Moon Kingdom. It was possible that when the royal family's experts arrived, the strange demons would have already arrived. When that time came, he wanted to see if the Star Moon Kingdom would lower their heads or swear to destroy the Dragon Spike. The torrential rain lasted for an entire day. Today's sky had darkened much earlier than usual. That's right. At dusk, 4 figures that were emitting terrifying energy like the bright moon were rapidly flying over from the west. 2 of them were completely red, just like the sun. One of them was completely blue, as if carrying an ocean. The other was yellow like a flying mountain. The sacred killing order has arrived. A cold voice rushed toward Bright Moon City. Chapter 1167, Kingdom lowered its head. The sacred killing token has arrived. The voice covered the entire Bright Moon City, and everyone could hear it clearly. The cold voice revealed a murderous aura, causing everyone in Bright Moon City to hurriedly look over. Hiss, this is. Star Moon Kingdom's void interpretation experts have arrived. How terrifying. For void interpretation experts have actually arrived. The Sacred Killing Token. This is the Star Moon Kingdom's Sacred Killing Token. Once the Sacred Killing Token is released, it represents the Star Moon Kingdom's Sacred Killing Token. Everyone's gazes turned over. Those figures that carried boundless might surged with reverence in their hearts. Including City Lord Lu and the Bright Moon Army General, there are a total of 6 insightful Void Realm experts. 6. This is a rhythm that will not rest until the dragon spike is dead. Everyone muttered to themselves. When they saw that majestic figure flying over, their knees were slightly bent. The aura was too strong. Holy Killing Order. The Dragon Assassin Organization receives the order. The Holy Killing Order arrives. The Dragon Assassin Organization, kill. The old man in the middle held a yellow imperial edict. With a wave of his arm, he threw it directly into the sky above Bright Moon City. The imperial edict suddenly became larger. On the golden background, there were large blood-red words that revealed endless killing intent. Hiss, what a terrifying killing intent. Is this the strength of the Star Moon King? Even if it's just a single word, it already possesses such a terrifying aura. All the citizens of Bright Moon City raised their heads and looked over. The words that were several hundred meters in size emitted a powerful pressure. The might of the imperial edict was so terrifying. Looking at the words, everyone couldn't help but lower their heads, not daring to look at it for a long time. Humph. The old man snorted coldly, his eyes revealing endless killing intent. Welcome, Lord Ling, Lord Xing, Lord Gu, Lord Xiao Wei. Within the City Lord's manor, City Lord Lu and the Bright Moon Army General hurriedly flew out. When they saw the Sacred Killing Token, they were slightly shocked as they called out respectfully. N. The 4 of them nodded and immediately flew towards the City Lord's manor. Voila! The royal family of Star Moon Kingdom has sent someone over. Next, it will be the battle between the royal family and the Dragon Spike. I wonder what the outcome will be. The strength of these 4 experts is so terrifying. The Holy Killing Order has been issued. 6 insightful Void Realm experts are dealing with the Dragon Spike. This time, the Dragon Spike can't continue to overturn the rivers and overturn the seas, right? There was an uproar within Bright Moon City. This was the first time many people had seen so many terrifying experts. Everyone waited quietly, waiting for what would happen next. Are they here? Standing in the restaurant and watching the 4 insightful Void Realm experts enter the City Lord's mansion, Wang Xian's face revealed a hint of coldness. The Holy Kill Order is for the Dragon Assassin Organization to receive the Imperial Edict. What a joke! Wang Xian smiled coldly. He took out the communication stone plate and sent 2 words. Action! When Wang Xian sent out these 2 words, the eyes of the group of demons in the cities and towns of Star Moon Kingdom froze slightly. Murderous intent was condensed. Star Moon Kingdom had 80 towns and 10 cities. Each town was similar to Holy Sea Town. In comparison, Holy Sea Town was considered a relatively large town because it was close to the ocean. The former mayor, Jin Shenyuan, was an expert at level 9 of the supernatural realm. As for the rest of the towns, a large portion of the mayor's strength was only at level 8 supernatural realm. Of course, there were also quite a number of level 9 supernatural realm experts. At this moment, in 20 of the towns in Star Moon Kingdom, many strange demons had arrived. One level 7 supernatural realm strange demon led 4 level 6 supernatural realm strange demons. They were able to assassinate level 9 and level 8 supernatural realm experts. A total of 100 strange demons were separated into 20 towns. When they received Wang Xian's message, they immediately took action. The mayor of a town had the strength of a level 9 extraordinaire. When faced with a group of dragon spikes, he was like a bunch of lambs waiting to be slaughtered. they didn't have the ability to resist at all. 100 strange demons easily entered the mayor's residence one by one to carry out the assassination. It was clean and without any surprises. Following that, the group of strange demons directly threw the mayor's body into the entrance of the mayor's residence. Beside them, there was a red congratulatory death note and a line of words. Reporting to Dragon King, it has been resolved. Reporting to Dragon King, it has been resolved. When Wang Xian's message was sent less than 10 minutes later, one message after another was sent. A total of 20 messages came from the 20 towns of Star Moon Kingdom. Very good. Next, we'll have to see the reaction of Star Moon Kingdom. If you don't surrender, let's continue. Wang Xian mumbled. At this moment, the 20 towns were in a state of chaos. The mayor was killed, and he was thrown directly at the entrance of the mayor's residence. Beside them, there was a red congratulatory death note. Beside the red note, there was a line of words. Tell your king that it was us, the dragon, who assassinated him. If you want to continue, then we will continue as well. This line of extremely arrogant words stunned everyone in the town. The other officials hurriedly reported back to the city with terrified expressions. The death of the mayor of a town was a very big matter for a town. Lord Ling, this dragon spike is incomparably arrogant. Before your arrival, it had assassinated over 100 people during the day. The third prince was also killed by this group of damnable fellows. Within the city lord's residence, City Lord Lu respectfully spoke to the old man seated in the middle. The old man, Ling Kai Tian, was the most powerful existence in Star Moon Kingdom apart from the king. One could imagine the fury of the Star Moon King by sending him here this time. Humph, this dragon spike won't be arrogant for many more days. Even if we have to search them one by one, we must capture this group of evildoers and execute them by cutting them into pieces. Ling Kaitian snorted coldly, his expression incomparably cold. Lord Ling, it's us who have failed to protect the third prince's safety. We are guilty. City Lord Lu and the Bright Moon Army General stood up and apologized when they saw the old man's cold expression. After we destroy the dragon spike, go and personally apologize to the king. Ling Kaitian glanced at the two of them and slightly narrowed his eyes. We'll start planning the operation to deal with the dragon spike now. I want to destroy them all within a day. With the 4 lords here, we'll definitely be able to destroy the dragon spike assassin organization. We'll let them know the consequences of daring to oppose us. City Lord Lu hurriedly said. There was also a huge gap between the insightful Emptiness Realm experts. As the second strongest expert in Star Moon Kingdom, Ling Kaitian was able to instantly kill him. Even though he was a city lord and an insightful Emptiness Realm expert, he still had to lower his stance in front of this person, even to the point of being respectful. Buzz buzz. Buzz buzz. However, just as he finished speaking, the communication stone plate on the table started ringing. At first, he didn't care, but the communication stone plate kept ringing, which made him slightly surprised. Generally speaking, no one dared to send him messages continuously, unless it was an emergency. City Lord Lu moved his arm, and the communication stone plate flew into his hand. However, when he saw the message on it, his pupils constricted slightly, and his face stiffened. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.